thank you all for making a plan and joining from wherever you are. Okay, I just want to ask you to please put your mics on mute to avoid background noise and feedback. You'll be muted during the session. Please do not unmute unless invited by the host. Please use the chat to ask questions or interact with the host and other members. Thank you for your cooperation and help in making this a successful online session. Hopefully next month we will be in person, or I'm sure we will be in person next month. All right. Oopsie. Then I just want to welcome everybody and our judge, Natasha Bird. Thank you very much. We will greet you properly just a little bit later. Then our August birthdays is only Linda Stetman on the 30th of August. Linda, may you have a wonderful day. Enjoy every minute of it. Then we have the PSSA Honours. We are proud to celebrate the dedication, talent and hard work of our members who contribute to inspire us all. Congratulations to Michelle Radermeyer. She's achieved LPSSA in Mono, a wonderful milestone and a fantastic panel. Well done, Michelle. And I'm also very grateful to share that I've been awarded the APSSA in Open. Both milestones are we celebrate together. And more to celebrate. Congratulations to Maureen Fourie in achieving DPSSA in colour. A wonderful recognition on your beautiful work, Maureen. Well done. Then for our honours holders, please keep your photo profile up to date, especially your membership status and honours. So you just log in. It takes 1 minute to do this, and everything will pull through, as you can see on your thing. So you go to My Details, sync with PSSA, and then on the next page it will say synchronize at the bottom, and then it will be updated. Okay. Our salon calendar. Bethel results are available. We will show them just now. Krugersdorp, 18 July, awaiting results. The next salon is on the 29th of August, the Tygerberg. The categories are open color, open mono, nature no birds, nature birds only, scapes and human portraits. The 5th of September is the 30th PSSA National Up and Coming Salon. That would be for all the juniors. Please participate. Brochures and results will be shared as they come available. Please chat to us if you need any help entering your first salon. Then there's October the 17th, October the 31st, and then November. That's what's left for this year. Then the results for SCC, that's Scottborough, First National Digital Salon. Antoinette Poseidon had 2 acceptances, Maureen Fourie 3, Michelle Radermeyer 1 com and 5 acceptances, Linda Stetman 1 acceptance, and myself 1 com and 6 acceptances, and Anneline 5. That makes 24 in total for the club. The next one was Sand Parks, Antoinette Poseidon had 2, Maureen Fourie 3, Michelle Radermeyer 1 com and 3 acceptances. Myself got my second PSSA silver medal ever, not as good as Natasha. Then 1 com and then 11 acceptances. That makes 22 in total for that. And then Bethel. Anita got 1 acceptance, Antoinette got 1 acceptance, Ellen Bryce got 1 acceptance, Maureen got a com, Louis Maton 1 acceptance, Michelle Meyer 1 acceptance, and Anneline Worth 2 coms and 2 acceptances. Well done to all of you. Right, workshop and outings. We've got a portrait editing workshop coming up on the 21st of August with Fraser. Then it will be via Teams. Then water droplets workshop, it would be the second one hosted by Arnold on the 29th of August. The first one was the weekend that just passed and everyone enjoyed it so much. Thank you, Arnold. Then the weekend challenge. Okay, so the culture day that we were speaking about will now be converted to a weekend challenge for the 19th of September, that weekend. All right, and then the SERPS Congress is on the 24th of October at the Photo Factory in Boksburg, hosted by Benoni Camera Club. Just before I go on to the Congress thing, Deirdre is going to add a calendar to WhatsApp for the reminders of these dates. Linda, I think you asked for it, so yeah, Deirdre will put it up. All right, so SERPs is on the 24th. Only 5 members of STOP has registered for this, which is concerning, because if we want to take the trophy back home again, then a group entry would be, a group support would be fantastic if more of us can be there. So please support this. And if we don't support them, why would they support us when our chance comes? So please, people, let's do this thing. All right. Then the addendum has been updated. It reflects the latest information and changes. Monthly awards have been updated to better recognize and celebrate our achievements, and then the process and procedures for club audits we've included. It will be shared on the lounge group tomorrow, so please read through it. Okay. Then we have the emergency procedure, which Elsa has been working very hard to set up and plan and get everything together, and there's a lot of good news about it. Seeing that we're not at club tonight, I will go through this in detail at the next meeting, but we're going to give the PDF document also on the lounge so that you can read through it and just make yourself familiar with it. All right, so general guidelines is just the committee caretaker responsibilities for overall safety. Safety officers evaluate the emergency. Only the safety officer gives orders and follow instructions promptly. Evacuations, wait for the safety officer instructions. Committee moves to assembly point first. All members and visitors report at assembly point. Committee counts and checks all present. That's just the plan of where the wall is and where the emergency assembly points are. The church has now put them up for us, which is fantastic. And then one of my pages has gone missing. Let me just see where it's gone. It's gone. All right. All right, but I'll put this up for you on the lounge, and then you can go through this. All right, so next we got JAP news. So we're incredibly proud of the 5 people that's been accepted into the JAP accreditation program, which is myself, Deirdre, Stefan Fourie, Tilman, and Michelle Rademeyer. A big congratulations to all 5 of you for stepping up and becoming accredited judges. A real commitment to the growth of the photography in our region. We're also delighted to share that Natasha Bird has joined the JAP lecturer panel from this year, a wonderful addition to the program, and one we're very, very happy to welcome. And she's judging for us tonight. So thank you, Natasha, for everything you give back to the club and to the PSSA. Then set subject selection for 2027. It's almost here. We want your ideas to help shape and inspire exciting year of photography. We'd love to hear your set subject suggestions. So please think about it. A link will be provided to submit 11 suggestions. Once all the suggestions are in, then we'll open it for a vote, and then we'll get our set subjects for next year. So Deirdre will handle that as soon as we're not going to clog everything tomorrow, so just give it a bit of time. All right, then this is where Deirdre wants to speak. Join the PSSA Information Hub.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. So I don't know how many of our members know that the PSSA has an actual official Facebook and Instagram page. So I would please urge everybody in the club to go join or follow these pages, as they give a lot of information about the PSSA salons and what's happening in our community. Something that's coming up is the One Day in South Africa. I believe that you need to post 3 images by the 19th of August, either to the PSSA group, or you can post them on Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of information about what you need to do. So you can submit 3 photos that was taken in the last 12 months of what South Africa means to you, or how you view South Africa. This is a little fun initiative. So I would really invite all of our members just to go visit the Facebook page or the Instagram page and see what's going on there. Thank you.
Thank you, Deirdre. Okay, the editing challenge. We all know the rules of this one. Natasha, this is more for you. I've sent this page to you as well, just so that you know how this works. So one person gives a raw image, and everybody has the right to enters the competition and edit it in their way. The rules are just that let me just go back to this thing, sorry. One original image remains the property of the photographer, only the edit is yours. Edited images may be shared on social media only for professional, non-commercial purposes. When sharing, credit must be given to the original photographer and the editing challenge, and the image may not be sold, licensed, or entered into other competitions or used commercially. And the original author may not win the challenge. All right. And this was the picture that was given by Anita. Okay, we look forward to seeing how it was edited. Okay, our August theme is negative space. What is negative space? It's the empty area around our subject, sky, water, fog, or a plain background that gives the image room to breathe. Photographers use it as a creative tool to isolate the subject, evokes solitude or scale, and draw the eye exactly where they want it. The challenge is knowing what to leave out, using simplicity, placement, and restraint to let the emptiness carry as much weight as the subject itself. Okay, then our next one for next month is September sunrise and sunset. So what's the golden hour? The brief window just after sunrise and before sunset, when the sun sits low, painting the world in warm tones of gold, amber, orange, and rose. Why this matters, golden light wraps subjects in soft, directional warmth, sculpts along shadows, deepens colors, and lifts an ordinary scene into something extraordinary. Silhouettes, seascapes, landscapes, and portraits all come alive. The challenge is the magic lasts only minutes. Arrive prepared with composition planned and camera ready. This is what separates a snapshot shot from a story. Rise early, stay late, and watch the light go as it works. Watch the light do its work, sorry. Right, so that is next month. Okay, and then it's now up to the Natasha. Very, very welcome, Natasha. Our judge tonight, Natasha Bird. Everybody is familiar with her, but let me tell you a little bit more about her. Okay. So a little bit more about Natasha. She has spent her entire life as a creative, painting, restaurant, murals, studying interior design, and running 2 art galleries. She joined Edenvale Photography Club in 2025 and is now also a member of Southern Suburbs and Sandton Salons. Our honors include LPSSA, EPSSA, DPSSA, Cluster and Verse, and AFIAP. Although Natasha would never boast about herself, she's an incredible photographer with a long list of awards. But what her fellow photographers value most in the person behind the work, thoughtfulness, humbleness, and generous with her time and knowledge. She also runs a professional framing business, and her perfectionism shows in every piece she frames. I've asked Natasha to frame pieces for me, and it is absolutely fantastic. So please contact her for that. In her own words, I'm not really a judge, just a visiting friend who enjoys talking about photography and making small difference in our world's wonderful creative community. Right, so Natasha, now it's over to you. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight. And that brings us to Natasha's judging. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, despite of the weather. Stay warm, keep shooting. Best of luck for all the entries tonight, and we'll see you soon in person. I just want to mention that Corneille is running tonight's top on his own. If there should be any issues, Arnold is a backup, but she is running it alongside, well, not next to him in the same house, but alongside, doing exactly the same on his side. So should we need any help, Arnold is there, just so that we're all aware. Okay, Natasha. Thank you so much, and it's over to you.
All right, thank you very much. What an introduction. Not really something I like to do. I think you've overinflated my abilities, but I'll take it. Hello, everybody. So lovely to be with you. Hopefully we are all friends and you know me well. Please feel free to ask any questions, maybe at the end, because there are 135, 136 photographs. so I won't make a lecture of anything, but you're always welcome. If you don't have my number, Belinda, you're welcome to post it. I'm happy to share everything I know, and I don't always get it right. I will just give you my opinion, and I know where I have learned the most is when I've actually listened to the judges and gone back and applied some of those edits. So try it, see if it agrees with you. If not, so what? You've got to love what you do, and that's the most important. I really enjoyed your images. I do a heck of a lot of judging, not just salon, but virtual and live club judging. I prefer live club judging, but I was thinking about a way that I could encourage you even more than what Belinda is already doing and Arnold doing all the workshops. And thank you for the invitation, Fraser, for me to join you for the Viking workshop. So you have got all the potential within your club to actually get to the top 5 of the Impala, what is it? The PSSA Premier Club. There is absolutely no reason that you can't. You've got great juniors, you've got exceptional seniors. I see this wonderful culture and environment of sharing and everything. You're checking all the boxes. Now, all you have to do is just continue editing, entering your images and doing what you love. So let's not waste too much time on all of that, and let's get chatting, my favorite part. So let's look at your images. I'm not sure what category we're going to start with first. Is there somebody calling it out, Belinda?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
Is that Cornet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Cornet. He will be calling it out. I've given him the breakdown how it will run.
Perfect. Okay. Super.
Okay. Just to make sure,
Yes.
can everybody see this? The test images, can they up on screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And the calibration looks good, by the way. Even on team side, I can see clear differentiation. So there shouldn't be any reason for bright images. Yeah, looks good.
Okay, are we ready to start? I don't think we have to run through the test images because on every single monitor it will be different. It's just the way your monitor is calibrated. Okay, I think we can start. So we'll be starting with themes today. So the first one is peekaboo.
All right, very sweet image. I like your framing. It is offset to the side, which could also have fitted in the negative space. The eye is sharp. It's got a little element of whimsy, and I think it's been well handled. Thank you.
Yeah, then go for Teresa. Next is standing watch.
If I may ask a question, sorry. Cornet, the scores are supposed to show after Natasha's comment. Am I correct, Natasha?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I
Okay.
don't mind. It makes
All right.
it makes no difference. It's actually easier for me if I see the scoring on it, because then I will speak to that. Just remind me, is this the negative space category?
Yes.
Okay,
This
all right,
is the
perfect.
Yeah, please just call out the category before the time, please, Cornet.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's what I was thinking. Okay, nice image over here. You've again used negative space quite well. You're not seeing it very well on Teams. I can see it's breaking up, but it definitely doesn't pixelate on my side. The bird's in a strong compositional point. What I'm not very much a fan of is what is happening at the bottom. I don't know if the bird is standing on a wall or a rope. Just give us a little bit of context. I know this is a junior image, so perhaps a little bit, maybe an inch more on the bottom, and to compensate for that, crop off a bit on the top. You've got a lot of empty space in this image, and I would rather see more detail in the bird. So cut out at least maybe 15%, 20% of the top and the side, and show us a little bit more context, if you can, of the base, because that's your anchoring. Thank you.
Okay, 10. Next is Land van Melk en Jenning.
Oh, this was a very sweet image. Yeah, and it does look like it's plentiful, and we love to see that in nature. It's a very sweet image. You've personified this little rodent. it's positioned well within the frame, lots of space to move around as well. There are a few images tonight that could be better improved by addressing the color cast. And on this one, it has got quite a strong color cast, which is to be expected if the entire environment is green, but that doesn't mean you mustn't address it. So go back into your post-processing and just make sure that you address the natural coloration on the little rodent, lovely catch light and good feather, listen to me, feather, fur detail as well. Works very nicely. Well done on your 12.
Okay, that is a 12, a 12 gold for Quibus. Moving on, Lonely Sky.
May I just ask, are you applying the sliding scale, Quibus? Corné, sorry, are you applying sliding scale?
No, we don't.
Okay, so are you actually telling your members this is a gold, this is a com?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I didn't hear that. Okay, nice image, nice subject matter, obviously within a blue vista. It is very central, which I think due to the fact that it's so small, what I would rather recommend, because you have a lot of blue all around, is just crop in a little bit closer, still leave all the negative space, and let's just see a little bit more detail, if possible, on the actual human element. Thank you.
That is a 10 gold for Alan Bryce. Moving on to Shadow in the Light.
I love the experimentation. Lovely and beautiful lighting on this. It's soft. The little extra hairs on the side bring a lot of femininity into the image, and we're often so quick to just delete it out. I like the lighting on the lips. So in this instance, the very bright whites actually define the shape, and hopefully your 13 at your club gives you a com. I think you've used negative space very well. Well done.
That is a 13 COM for Natasha Bird. Moving on, going to be a Scoop of Joy.
No, nobody will ever say no to this, right? Lovely color pop in terms of the color and the subject matter. That works very nicely. Do you need all that negative space above? In terms of composition, I would rather have seen what's happening here at the bottom of the handle of the fork and of the ice cream scoop, and made it a horizontal orientation and left a little bit more around. Now, negative space needs to enhance. So yes, you've added to the color pop, but you've got a very uncomfortable crop on the right-hand side. Even so, it's a feeling of happiness and joy, and it's a nice summer image. But if you want to get that score from an 11 even higher, always shoot things two ways. So give yourself some options, shoot it portrait, shoot it horizontal, and then play with your space. All right. And the other thing that you can do, if you look on the left-hand side, those little sprinkles are cut off. If this was my image just for editing, you never know where it could be used. If this was going into a magazine centerfold, leave a little bit of space on that side as well that hasn't got all the little sprinkles, but that doesn't change your mark as far as the lighting is being concerned and the fun element. Well-deserved gold. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Ande Creer. Moving on, Espresso.
I think we all need a shot or two of these, especially when it's been so cold. I love your color contrast. The blues and the browns are very, very complementary. That works nice. It's beautifully offset against the table. I like that you've given us some context in the background. It does all the wooden slats do lead toward that back end, and it's very, very dark at the back there. So by means of elevating this image even higher, again, I would think of what are you going to include in the frame. Now, the negative space around the beans and the coffee cup could just be the table. The lighter blocks on the top actually become a bit of a distraction, but your lighting is well handled. The colors are complementary, and it's actually it's an enchanting image. Well done.
Then 11 gold for Stefan Ferrier. Moving on,
Nice,
Lonely Tree.
Yeah, this image has got a lot of potential, and when it first came up, you see these single trees, and you always wish you had snow. Now, if you were in the right place in the country, hopefully you would have caught some of that Monday, I think it was. I know Golden Gate had some snow, but great isolation of that tree and beautiful soft tones with just a little bit of detail of the grasses that are sticking out. That works quite nicely. There are 3 sensor spots in your image. I can only see 2 here, but if I remember correctly, there is a 3rd one in the triangle in the middle there. Just go back and have a look. Now, if you edit in Photoshop and Camera Raw, in the Camera Raw panel, if you click on the eraser, I think this is a junior, if you click on the eraser and you go down to the bottom, there's a little tab there that says Visualize Spots. You can check that, and you can take out sensor spots. Be very, very careful if you're entering your images into the Impala trophy, because they are very pedantic about what you are allowed to manipulate and not. But sensor spots is definitely something you can take out, because the minute we see them in the air, we need to justify what it is that we're looking at. So in plain blue skies, it is very prevalent. This is an image. If you added a bit more contrast, the tree would stand out a lot more, and you could also consider converting it to monochrome for a higher score elevation. Thank you.
This is a 10 gold for Andre de Kok. Model at the dam.
Lovely model and beautiful styling. That works very nicely. The color pop is definitely there, and you've used a portrait orientation so that you can actually include some of the water in the background as well. Now, this image has got a lot of textures, so your focus is on the model, but our eye doesn't stay there. I look at the model, and then my eye immediately is led straight up. My eye starts at the reds, looks at the beauty of the model, but it doesn't stay there. And then it goes up, and I wouldn't consider that negative space because there's a lot of texture in it. Okay, just bear that in mind going forward. Thank you. Oh, sorry. The other thing about portraits, models are generally not very flattering when seated down. So just bear that in mind going forward in terms of how you would elevate your offering as a junior. Thank you.
The 10 gold for Louis. The power of negative space.
Yes, really strong graphic image. The blacks are inky. The textures are beautifully spread out. Nice space. And here we have the negative space that actually defines the black textures. I like the strong solid base at the black at the base, and it's just got enough information here and there so that we know what we're looking at. And most importantly, we actually see where the trunk starts of the tree, and it stands proud, and you've managed to separate the two quite nicely. Yeah, very well presented. Well done.
That's 12 gold for Andries Botha. Very upset Riet Kommerand.
Very sweet image. Yeah, I think this is at Rietvlei. Sometimes we recognize the perches that they stand on, but we shouldn't assume. You have definitely filled the entire frame very, very nicely. You've caught the bird at a decisive moment. It's not just sitting there. There's lots of textures and details, and for the most part, you have managed the lighting quite nicely. I like the color of the eye. It's definitely got nice pop. As I said, the gesture works well, and even the little feathers on the top of the beak is an additional element. In this image, you've got a lot of color noise. And what I mean by color noise, for those that are not yet familiar with it, if you look on the body in the dark side under the wing, you've got little green, red, yellow, green, red, and blue pixels that may have happened when you shot the image. It is a very black bird, and you lift it up and you introduce color noise. So just be careful of when you do that, because that obviously brings down the quality of your image and the textures as well. But did you fill the negative space well? Yes, you did. You still have all that info in your raw image. So I would just take this image right back and If that whole section is really dark, I would take it back. Don't pull the shadows so far that you're actually introducing the color noise. And I would rather have a darker image than have strange stippling of that. All right, thank you.
10 gold for Frank Ockerman. Covered in dust.
I really enjoyed this image, not because I think I recognize the photographer, but when I saw it small, when I was first transferred the image, I thought, geez, that's an adventurous shot. There's emotion, there's feeling, and you've got this vast sense of dust. And the only thing I'm thinking is, where's your bag to cover your camera? So good shot. I'm so glad you took it. It is on a strong position. We do not expect the subject to be sharp with all the dust. It's definitely going to soften the person in the background, but I think it definitely tells a story. Now, where would one use an image like this that's got this negative space? Well, if you think of a magazine that maybe promotes rallying and that, here's great space on the right-hand side as a double centerfold, and you've got all the information on the right-hand side. We've always got to think, where would we use this image? Nice one. Good shot. Thank you.
12 gold for Antoinette. Fading into the mist.
Yeah, another lovely image. When you can include weather, whether it be clouds or snow or sunshine, a great wash of color. One of the first bits of advice I got from Heidi Brosch when I started off at Enval is everybody loves mist images. And if you can get mist and you can get a spider's web with all the condensation, even better. So what you've got in this particular image is gradation. So strong foreground, you've got the fence that's fading off out your image, you've got a nice vast expanse, and then you've got light that gradates all the way up. I think that works quite nicely. There is a certain train of thought where many judges would say, oh, you've actually created a visual barrier with this fence. Well, you've literally created two triangles to me, and I can still see something happening in the background, and I feel the cold. So I enjoyed your image. Well done.
11 gold for Rikus. Hovering in space.
Yeah, nice to freeze the motion on this pied kingfisher. I can see it's checkering on my side in the background. If you are viewing the same thing over Teams, it's not in the original. Okay, beautiful, soft, creamy, dreamy background, lovely lighting. It's soft. It offsets the bird very, very nicely. The wings are extended out. We can't see the eyes. That might have been a little bit to the benefit of the strength of the image, but the whites are all well handled in terms of exposure. There is a little bit of blue in the shadows, but I quite like that. And then you've got a little bit of context in the background. It's not just a bird hovering in blue skies. So nicely done to the author. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Martinez. Minimalistic theme.
Yeah, you do definitely get a sense of the isolation of these vast plains, maybe in winter. Could even be a place like Natasha where you don't get much detail in the skies in the background. It is a little bit white, but didn't mark you down on that. I like your composition. You've got two strong elements, and I think they balance each other quite nicely. And a wide vista with enough detail front to back. What would have taken your image higher from an 11 all the way up? Unfortunately, clouds. Something in that great white area would have elevated the image and given it more interest. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold. The empty space is the best space.
Clever image. I'm wondering now why I am seeing the two lines. I don't remember seeing it with the border this way, but it's a very strong graphic image. Again, the contrast between the yin and the yang, the lines, and it took me a while to try and guess whether the author had shot the left-hand side and then flipped it, or if we were looking at two different people. But it's interesting. It's a graphic representation, and I think solid whites, solid blacks, great image. Well done.
12 gold for Michelle. Battling the fire.
Yeah, on this particular one, I like the position of the two firefighters. That works very nicely. And you've got the little wall, I think it was on the side, with just enough context in the background. What is bringing your image down here in this particular scene for me is the coloration of the fire. That yellow coloration is not true. You may have used it to fill it in, but that and it's also not particularly sharp. Now, we know water is not going to render it sharp, but even in the front here, the focus has been missed a little bit. And with the attention all the way to the left-hand side from halfway across, everything that's here on the right-hand side is not adding to your image. So you're not going to you're not giving those firemen more space to move into. So that to me is not quite bang on the money for theme. Thank you.
That is a 9 silver. Bruinkop visvanger.
A little guy on the left-hand side on this particular image, the exposure is a little bit bright. You've lost a lot of detail on the front of his body, but I do like the gesture. On the top there is enough fine detail. The bird is situated very much to the left-hand side. So if you look at the entire scene that you're giving us and you're following his eye downward in a downward trajectory, more than 70% of your image has got no detail and it's blurred. In this particular instance, just to fit theme, had you shown us a little bit more context or slightly cropped it differently, we wouldn't have needed, I would say, at least 70% of all the background. Thank you.
The 9 silver. Drapende chiffon.
Lovely image. Fits theme very, very well. Very simplistic in its styling. And negative space needs to enhance the image. And this draping that you've got is creating a natural frame. So it's adding to your image and it draws your eye straight in. You've got the lady on a strong point of intersection. Her hands are delicate, her eyes are soft. The lighting is beautiful. The styling is very, very good. I've given you a 13 on it. I would like to make one recommendation. If you look at the lady's right hand, our left-hand side, her right hand, you've missed just between the thumb and the fingers there. There's a little bit of a darker area. I would just go and do a different selection in that area and make it more white, and that would potentially take your mark even higher, up to a 14. But as presented, very well done. Thank you.
That's a 13 COM for Maria. Congratulations.
Thanks, Maria. Oh, yeah, lovely, lovely picture. Beautiful model. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you've got a beautiful lady and she's got a lovely smile, all the elements come together, you're more than halfway there in getting good scores for it. Now, why the 9? In this particular instance, you presented us with a portrait. There's beautiful colors through it, but you've shot very low. And so what you've now done is you've minimized the woman, and this becomes all about the clothing. Okay, so if it's a fashion shoot and it's a styled shoot, does any of the white in the background add to your image? Does it add any benefit? Is it encompassing her? It's adding light onto her? It really isn't. You may as well have cut it right down, cropped halfway through the middle, and just presented it as a straightforward portrait. Thank you.
It's a 9 silver. Just quacking along.
nice odd number, and you do get a lovely sense of motion with the water and the zigzags that are working through the water. You've got nice colors coming through again, the beiges, the browns, offset against the blues. The author has chosen to present this in a portrait orientation, but looking at it, the little goslings are straight in the middle, and you've got a lot of negative space on the top and equally in the bottom. Could you have selected to lose half of the top or half of the bottom? That might have strengthened it, but if it were my image, I would have done it in a horizontal presentation. But for the movement, for the cuteness factor, complementary colors, you get your 10. Thank you.
So 10 gold for Anthony. 100%.
Yeah, super, super. I loved the image from the time it came up. I like the movement. I like the panning. The action is all there. The reason for the 9 now, and I'm doubting that you're going to be able to see this on Teams, because I'm looking really hard. In the top part of your image, the image is breaking up. There's a lot of either... Okay, the author will know what I'm talking about. Please go back. Please go back to this image and rework the top percentage. I can see it's moving on Teams, but in the top 15% right across the sky, you're getting lines sideways and little blocks across the top. Add a little bit more contrast to this and enter it into a salon. I think you'll do very well. Thank you.
So 9 silver. Solitary Malachite Kingfisher.
Ah, very cute. What I really like to award with the malachites, it is so easy to oversaturate them because their colors are just so vibrant. But clear definition between the top of the crest and the blues of its body. You can see its plumage is just starting to come through nicely. The perch is unassuming, and you've got this beautiful soft background, which is very attractive. It is quite close to being central. Again, knowing how much negative space you need to add is quite important. I would crop out 15% of the top and equally the same amount off the head and down the side as well. And then just bring it more to a third on a stronger line of intersection. Thank you.
So 11 gold for David. Staring into space.
Yeah, you have to wonder what they were looking at. But a nice moment captured. The environment here, you making your negative space. It is a little bit hazy. I find the two gentlemen are quite strong, but because the women are so close to each other, they become more of a distraction to me. So in this particular image, to strengthen it, I would suggest a different crop, a bit off the top, and then I would actually crop out these two ladies and cut it on the arm between them on the left-hand side, and I would add a bit more contrast, and that would take it up to a higher gold for you. Thank you.
The 10 gold for Serena. The negative space that nobody sees.
Yeah, what I like about this is the play on words. And now that I know who the author of these works is, you tend to appreciate it even more. So where we, or I would have certainly taken the theme as meaning negative space, as in actual space, this is a psychological, this person is in a negative space. In other words, negative frame of mind. And I really appreciated that because in my mind, you're the only one that actually thought like that. So I enjoyed all the info in the background, the styling of this little chappie. And there's something about visiting clubs quite often. You get to see certain people that have already developed a definitive style. And this author has got a definitive style. When these mannequins come up and they are actually artist references, we use them to get the perspectives right when you're painting figurines. I love that you've incorporated it into stories, and this man's story hasn't yet finished. Well, very well done. Thank you.
To 13 COM for Marine. Congratulations. Wavy splash.
Something totally different. A different background, a nice crown, nice and sharp. The droplets are coming down, and you've got that additional element of something graphic with nice lighting gradation. You could just have the image on the left-hand side, but we've actually seen so many of those that doesn't make it extraordinary. In this particular instance now, I think that wave coming through the back has elevated your image, and the lighting on it works very nicely. Well done.
To 12 gold for Anita. Red billet teal.
Yeah, color that pops straight away. The lighting is very nice. Again, the complementary colors elevate your images and make things coherent and visually pleasing. The weighting of this is very nice. The reflection works well. The break on the line works particularly well. For a higher score, I know we need all the space, but I don't think we need as much. And it's a fine line to decide how much do you need. Do you need a 16:9? Do you need a 2:1 or 2:3? In this particular instance, I think because it is so blue, what I would consider doing if I was the author is pull a linear gradient up from the bottom and just add a little bit more depth, because all reflections are darker than what the top bit is that is hit by light, just by virtue of the density of the water. So up until the actual body hitting the water line, I would make that little bit darker so that you've got a bit more interest in the break of the blue. But again, nice details, lovely coloration, nice lighting in the eye, and fits theme well. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Sissel. Freedom's Edge.
Nice subject matter. It works very nicely. The subject matter is strong within the frame. The eyes have color and the whites have been handled. Beautiful fine feather details on the primaries, the secondaries, and the coverts. The perch is nice. Just watch on the outline of your fish eagle, and there are a few that have fish eagles this evening. There are slight haloings. You can see in the dark bits, you see if I'm a club, I can use my pointer. If you look above the legs onto the dark bodywork, and it's normally micro contrast, and underneath the black parts of the wings, slightly in between the wings, just watch that. I love that you've given the bird a lot of space to look into. Now, Corné, did you pull the image in closer?
No, this is the original.
Oh, okay, it's on my side. It just popped closer to me, and it's now out of focus. That's strange. Okay.
Same here.
Same
you
here.
also, is that Arnold?
Yes, that now appears totally blurry.
Yeah, it's totally out of focus for me as well.
Okay, that's weird because on our end it is correct. Hold on, we'll see if we can fix this really quick.
It's okay.
Okay, is it fixed?
We don't have an image at the moment. No.
Did the image show?
No, no image now. I've got the fish eagle again, but it's totally out of focus on my side.
Try the previous one or the next one.
Test images just to see.
Also out of focus. That's in focus now. The names. Let's see what my signal. I've got full signal at the moment.
Okay. Is it still blurry?
I don't have an image. This is the calibration and it's out of focus for me.
I believe it's not the calibration. I believe it is the signal.
Okay. Is it in focus for anybody else?
No, it's not in focus at all.
Okay. Then I believe
No,
it's
it's not in
signal.
focus.
Arnold, wil jy oorvat?
As it shows right.
Let me check. Let me quickly check and see if I can share it and see if it changes.
We'll see. That's okay. There we go. Ah, great. We're back.
It was just
That's now my screen that I shared just to show you the image. Okay, does that work? It's better, but it's full screen.
That's not going to worry me. I was looking at it in this orientation anyway, Arnold.
Okay. So if we can work with this, because I don't have a second screen that has so I need to just go back and forth to show the images until Corne can get it right on his side.
Okay.
All right.
What do I need to do? Is this team stop sharing little bar at the bottom on your side? Or okay, there we go. Great.
All right, I can continue like this, and then we see until Corne says he's happy to continue. Otherwise, we'll finish up.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're obviously going to see my entire screen because that's the only way I could share this specific one.
It's okay. That's okay.
Right.
No,
So
it's not a problem.
The next image then would be, obviously the previous one was a 12 for Master Silver, Belinda Uckerman.
Okay.
Next one, Heron in Fog.
Love this image. Beautiful atmosphere, the fog on the water, the lighting, the complementary warm tones in the back, and then obviously also the balance between the water and whether or not to add in the warm evening or early morning colors that work particularly nicely. The bit of island gives it some context and a little bit of additional interest. I would have scored this image even higher. There is something that comes through down at the bottom of the legs. You can see it on the body to on the right hand side, and then a little bit of I don't know if it's brushwork or there was something happening down at the bottom there. Otherwise I would have scored this image even higher, but it's a beautiful image. If the author can just go back, have a look at what's happening down at the bottom there and just make a few corrections. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Arnold Bester. And that was the last of the themes. All right, I believe our next section would now be photojournalism.
Moet ons nie die beste van die themes kies nie?
Maybe you can select the best of theme. Let me quickly filter these quick. I believe we had 2 13s. So let me just calculate. There were 3 photos. Let me just quickly filter again. Themes, cognitive distribution, school 13s, filter. All right, so we had shadow in the light. That was this one.
Yes.
All right, then we had draped chiffon. That was this one. And then we had negative space, nobody sees. That's this one.
Yeah, if we were going to choose two, it would be between this one, the negative space for the clever interpretation of theme, but my actual winner for the evening, which would be the traditional, will be the chiffon, draped in chiffon, the previous image, please.
All right, so that will be
That one.
That specific one at the bottom, so we would score this the best of theme. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Now, Corné, maybe on your side, you can just run parallel and do the scoring because you already scored all the others. You can just add the best of medals, so we run in parallel with that. All right, so we go now to photojournalism. The first one would now be ran down.
Yeah, this was a great action shot. I love that the ball is in play. There's emotion. You've managed to separate the background, but still keep the audience involved. The whites are looking very bright here, but I didn't have a problem with them at all. What I would consider doing, because this image or the action is so central within this frame, is I would consider cropping out on the left-hand side and maybe even the top of the stadium. But that's just a slight means of improvement that the author can consider. Thank you.
Sorry, what star rating was this?
That is 12 gold for Corné Jansen van Vieren, 2-star. The next one, the winner, 2-star. It's 2-star winner, PJ.
Yeah, an interesting capture. I don't quite know what kind of powerboat this is, but there is interesting coloration on it. I think the author has captured the lighting relatively okay. There are some areas of burnout if you look on the top, and that's really because of the reflective surface. So just watch down at the bottom on the water and on the backgrounds, and then you can also consider pulling up your shadows a little bit, because at the moment the actual powerboat steals all the attention, and the person who should be the hero of the shot, he's a little bit lost in that the face is very dark and the clothes are as well. Thank you.
Okay, that's a 10 gold for Tinus the Cock. The next one is 2-star, line out.
Yeah, another good shot, good focus on this particular image. I like that the boys are raising up the two main players, and there's definitely a hero. Even the stadium light in the back adds a bit of point of interest. Nicely done, good lighting, and the exposure's been well handled. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Corné Jansen van Vieren. The next one is the picture.
This image has got quite a lot of comical appeal. I think just by virtue of the player's stance, he looks a little bit diminutive in the frame, but the ball is in play. There's great arm extension. The whites have been handled very nicely. Just by means of improvement, watch for distractions in the frame, because you've got those two circles on the back. I don't know if it's a fence or the edge there, and they're very, very bright. So once I've explored your main subject, and he is great, my eye then goes down to those two blobby areas, and we try to resolve those. Go back, please rework this image. And if you're a junior, this is a good image to enter into the up-and-coming PSC up-and-coming competition. Just see if you can get some help in just toning down those bright specks. Thank you.
Oh, that's an 11 gold for Cobus Barnard. Linda suggested that we do a different call out. If I just do the display, someone else can do the readout. Then I don't have to memorize it every time. But we go to the next one, the finale. Yes, gaan maar.
Ekskuus, nee, andersom. Deirdre kan display en dan kan jy net uitroep.
Okay, that will be great. So I can just call the names and Deirdre can do the display.
Ja.
Okay, so I will stop sharing. Let me stop sharing the screen, and then Deirdre can just take that over.
Because in South Africa, we always have signal problems.
Okay,
and
let's do that.
pothole problems and others and others. And
Yes, it continues.
Yes.
we are very resilient, so that's not going to worry us tonight.
But
Not
luckily,
on camera club night.
Yeah. All right, so this one is called the finale, and it's a 3-star.
Yeah. Okay. I think you've already seen my score. It was a 14. I thought this was a great image. It's got atmosphere. It's got enthusiasm. There's color. There's enthusiasm. There's context. There's emotion. Lighting has been well handled. What would I have done or what could you have done to elevate your score from a 14 to a full 15? I would darken down the audience ever so slightly and just make the heroes of the shot these guys in the front, the band. And I'm pretty sure that whoever the author is, if you have not given this shot to this band here, you really need to. They're going to absolutely love it. It's joyous. It makes me wish I was there. And I think you've done a fabulous job. Well done.
That's a 14 COM for Ellen Bryce.
Ah. Okay, next image up.
That's the microphone.
Gentleman.
3-star, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, here you've captured a portrait of the musician. It's quite a tight crop. If you look down below, we've got an idea of the arm being there. We've got an idea of the guitar, but you've shot it from quite a low angle. So we're looking up into his nose. That's never, ever very favorable. And he looks a little bit, maybe he's singing a sad song, but his eyes are looking away from you. He's not really engaging with the author. So perhaps you've taken a few photographs in the series which shows him a little bit more enthusiastic, and perhaps show more of the actual instrument he's playing. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Ellen Bryce.
Okay.
The next one is also 3-star.
All right. Here we're looking, even though you're shooting him from down low, and that might not be your within your control as to where you shoot them, but in this particular instance, we're not actually looking up their nose, even if they are higher up on stage. You okay, Arnold?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So this is a stronger shot for me. We've got the actual hand in play. We can identify the instrument a lot better. You've got more lighting effects, and you've got a little bit more engagement. So for me, this would be your stronger portrait of the two. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Ellen Bryce.
Okay.
The next one is Anne of Green Gables, 4-star.
Yeah, and quite an appropriate title. I think that works nice, and it's a nice candid moment between the two young ladies. In terms of the placement, I wonder if there was another background that you could have perhaps chosen for this image. The white picket fence at the background is very busy, very distracting, and I find that the two are not connecting in any meaningful way, so your image still feels like more of a happy grab shot than it actually does a portrait. I think we are in the portrait category, am I right? Or did you say PJ?
PJ category.
PJ, okay, same. Thank you.
Okay, that's a 10 gold for Andre de Kock. The next one is called Hansi, 4-star.
Yeah, your club is becoming known for the music shots through a few of your photographers that really enjoy the genre. Under challenging conditions, you can't control who's behind them, the lighting that you're getting. Often the skin tones don't always come out right because it's more for impact. In this instance, I think this is a super shot. Nice darks in the background and lights. You can see the whole angle of the guitar, and you've got the beautiful light coming in. I would pull the blacks down even darker if this image was mine. But as presented, nice use of filling the frame, and a shot certainly that the musician will like too. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Stefan Fourie. The next one is Top of the Stairs, 5-star honors.
Nice image, and it's good orientation as well, choosing from portraits. You've got the stairs at the bottom and then all the textures going all the way to the top. And we have a point of interest at the top. The man is a little bit small, but I can see what you've tried to do. Now, in terms of what makes it successful, yes, you've got texture. Yes, you've got a foreign placement. I can't remember if I can read the text at the back, but that would be important to me as well. Look at what you've decided to include in your image. If you look on the left-hand side, there's a little bit of a door or a window frame there that's slightly in, but that lamppost or the little interest of that glowing lamp is kind of in, kind of out. Unless you've got more space to the left of the frame, I would take it out. And then to really make this image pop, you have to really work the light in on the stairs. You've got to do a lot more dodging and burning so that your light leads me up to the top. If you're looking at this particular image, we're not evenly spaced on the right and the left, so you can straighten that up a little bit, and then you have more light down at the bottom, and then you've got a whole area of shadow. I ideally want the light to transition darker all the way up to the lighter, not the way it is right now, but that you will go and fix with dodging and burning. I can't see the score, Arnold. Hello?
Arnold, your mic is off.
So sorry, that's an 11, Natasha.
Thank you.
Excuse me, can I just ask something?
Yes.
I thought this was the photojournalism.
You're allowed to paint in light and do dodging and burning.
You see it as portraits.
No, I asked previously in terms of the guitar, if this was PJ or portraiture.
Yeah, this specific one is also PJ. We're still with PJ. Right, so the next one is Big Top Rockin', 5-star.
Yeah, a happy feeling with this image. There's dancing, there's color pops, there's action all over. But despite the busyness of the production at the bottom, there's no doubt as to who the hero of the shot is. Just by the virtue of the lights, by the virtue of the elevation, there's a little bit of movement, and all these supporting elements at the bottom don't detract from the gentleman at the top. I think this is a very well constructed, interesting image. Well done.
It's a 12 gold for Marine Fourie. The next one is a 5-star image, Keep Paddling.
Yeah, nice coloration here. Little bit of eye engagement with the little boy, and definitely PJ value with the family out on their ride. Nice coloration in terms of the greens and the oranges and the reds, and also set off in a nice position. Thank you.
An 11 gold for Anthony Mellon. The next one is called Letting Go, 5-star.
Yeah, a happy shot. If you can capture people's emotions, something that's comical or humorous or tells us about human nature, it either will resonate with the viewer or not. And I think this guy's just embracing life and something that he's doing that makes him happy, maybe a little bit of an adventure. The placement within the frame works very nice. I'm glad that you included the safety parachute at the bottom, and his hands with the gloves and the stance, everything works very nicely. I can't see the score on it, but what would elevate it even higher, unfortunately not in your control, is more than just a grey background. Was it on sunny blue skies with a little bit more clouds in the background? That would have elevated your image. But I think as presented, you would have got a good gold.
That's an 11 gold for Anita Bester. And that's the last of the PJ shots. I believe Corneille has sorted out his problem. He'll take over the pictorial phase and see if we can continue as we started.
Thank you, Arnold.
No
Okay,
problem.
let's just see if it does work this time.
Are we still okay for time, or do you want me to talk a little bit faster, a little bit less? No. No, Corneille, you are still out of focus on my side.
Okay.
Yes,
Same, yeah.
out of focus.
Right, you can
Mark, can you continue, please?
All right,
I
so
can
we
hear
continue.
where I am, the wind is howling, so I'm sure you've probably got bad signal your side, hey?
Okay, so we'll continue as we did. Did I display, and I'll just do the shout out. The first pictorial one is the Doha flame. It's a 2-star image.
Yeah, just hold on a second, Arnold. You've actually zoomed in. We're missing some of the image here. We're not viewing all of it. Pull back a bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is a super image for abstractionism. You've got nice shapes, the triangles and the circles, nice light, nice fall of patterns, the blues, and then that central bright orange flame coming up. I think this image has been well handled. Just by means of improvement, knowing what to include and what not to include. If you look at the bottom right, you've got a little triangle with a tiny little pop of light blue, and then you've also got that little light blue section in a underneath the circular roof. Just crop that out, because once you've seen the dark areas, your eye looks down towards the light areas, particularly around your border patrol. I don't think I marked you down on that though. It's a strong, nice graphic presentation of this landmark. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Tinus de Kock. The next one is The Weight of Silence, 2-star.
Arnold, please remind me, what category are we in here?
We are in the pictorial, the open.
Okay. So I looked at this image for quite a long time, and we will all have varying opinions. They might be right, they might be wrong. I think when you, let me think of how I'm going to word this. When you take an image such as this, you have a responsibility as to where you flight it. You're either going to bring attention to a particular social issue or a problem, or you're going to try and assist, or you are raising awareness for this situation. This looks like a woman that's in dire circumstances, maybe poor health, ill health. And as a 2-star, you're going to start off your journey by making responsible decisions. Your image is profound. It's got very strong emotive strength to the image, and it can go just as well in PJ. So as a 2-star, I'm going to ask you, when you take photographs like this, don't just take them for camera club. Make sure that you have an element or within yourself, and I'm sure it will resonate within you, that you've asked this young lady, or you came across the scene, she didn't have a top on or whatever, that you're going to raise awareness for this plight and assist your subject matter. You're not just going to take a photo and walk away from it. Okay. It's anonymous. It's got profound storytelling. You've composed it well. The lighting is falling nicely against the shots. I can't remember what score I gave you, but as a 2-star, it's a strong image. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Teresa. The next one is Passing Time, also 2-star. You scored 12.
Very good subject matter for monochrome conversion. Hands of Time, they're showing the age, that that you've gone through the whole tonal range, given us inky blacks and some nice whites, works very nicely. Again, storytelling in the hands. Just watch, there's one or two very white, bright spots on the edges of your frame, but I like the composition. I like your focus area on the fingers crossed, and then the fall off towards the top. My eyes drawn right in, and that cigarette's got an additional element of interest. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Teresa. Next one is called Unfolding, 2-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, this is a nice image, and it's got, if I'm not mistaken, this is some plant that I can never grow. I want to say it's a Clementia. Oh, goodness. It's one of those that I love buying because it's so beautiful and the lines are so good, but I can never grow it. And you've given us the reverse view of it, so that's quite appealing. The whites have got detail in them, a little bit hot on some of the edges, but for the most part, you've given us the texture, slightly more depth of field, and you can even add a bit more vibrance and saturation to your image. And if you're looking at the top, you've got quite tenebristic at the top, which is very dark, and then it gets lighter down all the way to the bottom. I think to really make these pinks and magentas pop off your image, you can actually pull up your levels and pull your blacks even darker, and then try and see how much you can actually get the whole background in black. Then your image will stand out very well. But shallow depth of field, so maybe for flowers, and also potentially to get more of that stem in focus. It is quite a big area. You can go 11, F13 and the likes thereof. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Teresa. Next one is called White Shell, 3-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, obviously shot from the top looking down. There's nice gnarly textures here. I speak about a tenebristic background. This is what I mean, very, very black backgrounds. And what it actually does is it makes the images pop right off the screen. Watch your edges are on the left-hand side. If you look on the right, they're very clearly defined. If you're going and working all the way around the bottom on the left, it's going a little bit blurry. It might just be a matter of a better selection and cutouts. And then you can actually also pull in your sides and get more of a square crop in on this. You don't need all this black. Just measure it. So at the top and at the bottom, you've got equal distance, and your furthest point on the left, and again, your furthest point on the right, and bring it in slightly more. Now, black and white is really, really difficult. In this particular image, you've got a lot of tones of gray on the inside, and how you're going to bring out even more textures and more lines and more shadow, because black and white relies very heavily on the interplay of shadow and light. And to get even more shadow areas coming through here, directional light is your friend. So you're going to flat it hard if you're shooting it down as a flat lay, but if you're shooting it from a light on the left and letting the light wash over it and have fall off, you'll get more areas where shadow will define the form even better. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Natasha Gerber. Next one is called Death in Darkness, 3-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, something totally unusual, and even the crop is an unusual crop that we're not seeing the whole rose or the whole flower, but you can make it out. It is easily identifiable, and there are nice shades and textures and almost like decaying matter. The stem I can see quite nicely. If this were my image, I would consider a closer crop in from the left-hand side. I think you've got 40% on the right that adds no value on that side, and you might just want to just work on some of those highlight areas, especially on the right-hand side edge of the petals. And then just by virtue of knowing which your stem is, we know it's the one on the left, but because you've got that extra, I forget, Cecil, you'll have to help me with roses. You often just under the rosebud, you get those very long leaves that come down. I would delete that out completely, that long one, because it looks like it's arching up, which is just a little bit confusing. But nice subject matter for black and white. Well done.
That's only 11 gold for Natasha Gerber. Next one is No Lamp Light in Darkness, 3-star. You scored 11.
Something totally different, and this is what's great about the juniors is they look for shape and forms and textures and unusual fall of light, and you've done it in this particular image. Good idea for the portrait orientation, that works quite nicely. Your focus could be a little bit sharper, and also your whites. You can actually, again, do a levels adjustment and pull up your whites a little bit more so that you can get a little bit more definition and more of your tonal range opening up between blacks and whites. But I like your crop. I like the placement of it and that you've chosen to share half. It's interesting. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Natasha Gerber. Next one is called Charnay. 4-star, you scored 11.
The image has got good color pop, good focus as well. You've got nice elements in terms of the sponsors' names and their businesses. That's all easily identifiable. Your panning technique, the car is sharp. There's motion in the wheels. The background is still a little bit identifiable. If you can drop your shutter speed even lower and make that more of a blur so that you're not getting elements that are competing. If you look at the size of the car and you look at the structure at the back, it's blue. My eyes toggling between the bottom half of the image and the top and the bottom and the top and the bottom and the top. So that's all practice. And then in this particular images, your blacks are very, very dark. So I can't define the wheels from the bodywork. And I'd like to be able to see just a little bit in to the steering wheel, to the hands, and a little bit on that visor too. And that's just a plain shadows, lifting your shadows. But as presented, a very good attempt. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Louis Mouton. Next one is called Cave Kop Houtkapper, 4-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, a nice pick, and they've got very long tails. So what I do appreciate about your image is that you haven't cropped it off just as a head with a very long beak and lost the tail. The author has got down low, so you've given us a nice bird's eye view. We at the level of the bird, there is some texture, a nice fall of light, and your background is dark. There is the additional element of some foliage at the bottom. Where your image is coming down is you've got this haziness over the whole image, so it feels slightly milky. Just go back and look at your haze, your dehaze, and then look at the noise. You can see a little bit of chromatic aberration, the greens and the color noise coming out in some of the dark areas of your bird. You may have just lifted the darks a little bit too much, but I didn't want to penalize you for it because it's got a lot of elements that are still working nicely. Thank you.
11 gold for Stefan Fourie. Next one, Recharging, 4-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, nice fine feather details. That red eye's got a bit of pop. It's got a good perch that the bird is resting on, and then a little bit of info in the background. I don't know what we have to do with the birdies here, but we need a little bit more action to elevate it from your 10s, 11s further up. Once you've checked all the boxes, yes, you've got the perch, you've got the light, you've managed your background nicely. Now you've got to wait for that definitive moment where there's a little bit of a squabble with his feet, or fluffs himself up, or opens his beak, or something of that nature. Now, if you look at this image, your bird is very central, and on the right-hand side, just above that log, you've got a white blob sticking. So that's a good place to tell you, maybe I should crop that out. I would crop off the back. The bird isn't looking in that direction. So crop that out so it's no longer a distraction. Crop off a little bit more of the water. And if you have it in the raw file, show us a little bit more. I always say if you've got a 10th behind the bird, even 30, 40, 50% more in the direction that the bird's looking at is going to help you. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Andre Botha. Next one is Here's Looking at You, 4-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, the focus on this little guy wasn't 100% bang on the money, but there are things that you've definitely done right. I like your background, and the funny thing about your background, and I'm sure it's not intentional, but it just does work in this instance, is the mottling on the background is repeated in the mottling on the front of the giraffe. And I liked its hair. There is a little bit of loss of detail on the whites and the edges of the giraffe, and then a little bit more light in the eyes would have definitely elevated your image higher. But you filled the frame that you've got right, and often composition is one of the hardest things that we battle with. Just watch your focus. Big animals, bang here in the middle of the eyes. Don't always try focus on one or the other, because if they tilt slightly out the way, you might miss it. Yeah, thank you.
It's a 10 gold for Andre Botha. Next one is called Open, 4-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, I like what you've seen here. I don't know what kind of seed I'm looking at, but I love the shape. I love the textures. The form is there. It forms a bit of an abstract. Your whites on the actual seed or the pod itself are very, very nice. That works well. And you've even given us a bit of a lead in on the left-hand side, and I can stay here. Good coloration, and then a little bit dark on the inside. The problem with your image is everything else out of that area. You've got competing bright areas with a lot of noise. So my eye goes there and tries to resolve what I'm looking at down there. So that's unfortunately, depending on where you saw this pod in nature, very difficult to isolate. And then finally, just watch your noise levels. Take it into Topaz. If you don't have any of these plug-in programs, Camera Raw and Lightroom, I don't know about Lightroom, I use Camera Raw and Photoshop, but Camera Raw has got fantastic noise reduction features, and they're very, very successful. So just take your image back, especially in the very dark areas when you're trying to lift them and lift the colors. You get a lot of noise within an image. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Louis Vuitton. Next one is called Droplet, 4-star. You scored 9.
Okay, I think I've got another name for this. It looks like a martini with an olive at the top. But nice and sharp, nice coloration, very strong, good positioning in your image. The reason for the 9 is everything else that's happening all around your image. There are speckles. I don't know if it's water. I don't know if your camera sensor is dirty, but all of those other things all over your image in the reflection against the background, they are very, very distracting. And that looks to me like you need to have your camera sensor taken in, okay, because everything else is really nice. So now what are you going to do? You're going to go back into Photoshop, and you're probably going to spend an hour on this image, because I think it's worth saving, and just clone out every single little one of these distractions. If you do work in Photoshop, go and try visualize spots. I don't know how successful it will be on this particular image, but it's a strong image, and I'd really like it to get the higher marks it deserves. The other thing for me is your base is at least 30% of your image. I think you can consider cropping out where that concentric circle ends, leave a centimeter and crop out that whole bottom part. So that you actually have a strong base that doesn't compete with all the interest that's up on the higher levels. Thank you.
It's a 9 silver. Next one is also called Droplet, 5-star honors. You scored 13.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back images with the same titles doesn't always happen. Tenebristic backgrounds, I love them. I think when you've got a colorful image, it just helps that there's nothing more beautiful than a black background with a very striking, strong, well-structured element. And it's a simplistic image, but the lighting is very good. The saturation's good. You've got the eye that's led in by beautiful greens, beautiful striations, textures all the way up. lovely lines leading through, and then it leads you all the way to where your eye can rest in that open water drop. Very well done. Well deserving of your com.
That's a 13 COM for Antoinette Besaidnout. Next one called Mum and Baby, 5-star honors. You scored 11.
Nice image, captured at a hard time of day. You've managed to bring out a lot of texture on the particular baby. On this particular image, I feel that it's over sharpened, and you can also see, because I wouldn't get it unless I was prejudging it, but your shutter speed was just too high. So you may have had a very, very dark image that you brought back out and tried to recover to get all the detail in it. Just have a look at that, and then watch the exposure on the top. So a little bit over sharpened, and just watch that the focus is solidly on that little baby's eye. Okay, thank you.
It's 11 gold for Jeanette Smith. Next one is Skate teen die Jetty, 5-star honors. You scored 12.
Yeah, really pleasing image. Gnarly, beautiful textures. Nice to go and shoot your textures on the verdigris green colors here. The greens and reds and oranges really tell a profound story. Also, the water is way out and the jetty is a little bit higher. So I think the authors presented a very pleasing image of this particular scene. Well done.
That's a 12 gold for Rikus Barnard.
Sorry, Arnold, before I go on, Rikus, I don't know if you use camera raw, but on your top right-hand side, you've got a bit of vignetting on the right, and that could be a lens correction that you would make. So just take it back in. You'll see it's not uniform, that blue section on the top. Just take it back in, check the lens correction, and that will deal with that vignetting on the right-hand side. Thank you.
Okay, if I pronounce this right, the next one is called Celosia, 5-star. You scored 12.
Yeah, very pleasing image. Lots of details. I'm not seeing over Teams. It actually looks bright over Teams, but it's not bright at all. It's got good textures, lovely coloration, fine details. And then offset against the green. Now, I don't know if that was the author's choice, if you put a mount board behind there, because it does look like there's a little bit of wobbling and your light is getting caught in that area there. But maybe a softer, lighter pink or an even darker green. The background competes a little bit with this beautiful subject matter. So either that will just make your greens a little bit darker. Now, even though it is a flower, almost every single image can benefit from selective dodging and burning. You want to draw my eye into an area, so you don't want everything uniformly colored. So if you want to find somewhere for our eye to rest, darken some of the very bright areas, and then just lead us into this top section with these lovely lime greens, and then make this top even more vibrant with more piercing yellows. Don't change the actual authenticity of the image, but lead the viewer's eye. So darken the stems, lead us up by selective dodging and burning all the way up into one particular area. But it's a very strong floral, very beautifully presented. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Maria.
That's
Next
Maria.
one is called Fish Eagle, 5-star. You scored 11.
Nice coloration, beautiful details again on the feathers, the primaries and the coverts, and the whites are well handled. Just watch on this level that you don't introduce halos by sharpening. You've got all the details there, but if you follow the form of the bird, especially in the micro contrast areas between the blues and the darks of the feathers, you will see there's a halo that goes all the way through this bird. But nice details. Just go back and rework out that halo. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Ron Cox. Next one is Just Fishing, 5-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, there's no fisherman ever in the world that's going to say this is just fishing. They're quite protective and proud of their times out in the wild. An unusual slither of a view. I like the colors that the author has captured in the scene, the yellows on the water and the greens and the jetties. The gentleman who's the main focal point of your image is very central, and on the left-hand side you've got a little bit of a tree, and if you look at it, that tree is also going green. So this is an image that will benefit again from color corrections, and in the raw you've got a lot more oranges in the bush and more natural greens. If you're looking at your greens, they're very borderline cream soda-y, not a really authentic green. Just go back and rework your greens and you'll see you've got a lot of oranges, yellows, and very natural greens, and crop out this little bit of a tree here. And I would actually consider, instead of this almost wide equal to the bottom, I would bring it down to a 2x3 and bring the viewer's eye even closer to the fisherman. So crop off a little bit of the bottom, about 15%, and that tree crop out to the front of the signpost and go all the way up there. And I think you'll have a stronger image. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Anthony. Next one, Ready for Takeoff, 5-star. You scored 11.
This image isn't coming across sharp here tonight. On my side, I think it is sharp. The placement of the bird is very nice, nice details, nice strong elevation, catch light. The bird's doing something interesting. The whites are a little bit bright. You can just handle that a little bit differently. See if you can pull down your highlights. A little bit more dodging and burning at the higher levels will definitely serve you well, and good for you for keeping in the bottom feathers. That works quite nicely. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Linda Stedman. Next one, 3 is a Crowd, 5-star. You scored 11.
Nice tabletop. I like the coloration, almost purple and green, so almost complementary. That works well. Your specimens. Okay, wait, first let's talk about composition. The horizontal format works nicely, and you created the triangle. 3 of a kind also works well. Nice textures in the background against the natural wooden surface. I do like that. To lead my eye in, you've got the 3, so the hero will obviously be the top one, and then I'm going to come down to the left and keep on coming backwards and forwards in a triangle. The light on the top one is well handled. Just watch with your specimens that you choose the finest, or you crop out any bruising or marks. On the one on the right, there's some little brown spots, and again on the left. And if you are able to turn this, if you look at the bottom one, the stalk, if that was leading towards the next one, I would constantly loop round, round, round. What I'm not a fan of in this particular image is that wooden block. It competes as a visual element in terms of size with the pears, and I wonder if your image would have benefited had you pulled that lovely textured cloth and hidden your elevation tool, because that's an elevation tool, that block. It's not doing anything other than raising that third one. Pull that cloth over it and let it fall, and put that one back on the top, and I think you would have your comms and higher. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Maureen. Next one, I thought I saw a puddy tat. 5-star, 12.
Yeah, well, I hope you didn't see a putty cat in the bush, because you'll be in trouble. Yeah, the intensity of this image was lovely, and when you see those veins popping out And we know with the little impies and the little bucks that when the whites of the tail come up, they obviously in alert mode. So good image, good title. I think your black and white has been handled quite nicely. Your whites are white and you've got transition all the way through. That works nicely for me. Go back and do a little bit of selective sharpening on your image, the hairs on the top of the ears, the white part, and wherever it sticks out a little bit, do a little bit more selective sharpening in those areas. And then your bird, I beg your pardon, your buck is looking to the right-hand side. So I would cut in a little bit more on the left-hand side and leave a lot more space that you've got on the right, but background beautifully handled, add a bit more contrast. Don't be scared of contrast, it's your friend. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Linda Stedman. Next one's called Dahlia. I don't see a star grading. I believe it's 5-star honors. You scored 11.
I like the subject matter. Unusual that you're finding it in a horizontal format. Sometimes they tend to be more symmetrical. So you've tried something different, the author. There's quite a bit of pollen on it. Now, what the pollen does for me is it forms lots of distractions everywhere. I love your coloration. I love the nice magentas. There's some nice textures everywhere. And then you've got the detail all the way to the middle. Now, the colors, this cream color is pretty evenly toned throughout. So you can, this is pictorial, you want to lead my eye either right into the middle or somewhere else within the frame. And I'm going to say that that middle part is the right place to do it. So you can do a radial mask in post-processing and sharpen the center part even more and lighten it and maybe pull in more greens into that area just for a bit of variety, because that's the area that I get it. There's a lot of pollen, I've mentioned that. So what you've got to do is you've got to decide whether or not this image is really worth spending hours on. And if you do believe it is, then you're going to look for interplay between your shadows and your darks. You're going to do a lot more burning in the hollows of the petals, especially on the insides and on the outer sides of the petals. You're going to whiten the tips all over, and you're actually going to take your spot healer, or I would if it was my image, and I would remove a lot of the pollen, especially off the pinks. You'll look, there's some fine fibers here on the right top and down on the left hand side, and that top area of black on the right. It's pictorial. Clone in another leaf there so that you don't have any of those open areas, but a really pleasing image to look at. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Cecil Mayu. Next one is called Pink Rose, 5-star master bronze. You scored 12.
Yeah, soft and feminine and really beautiful to look at. The soft transition of colors and authentic. The rose hasn't yet unfolded. Beautiful tenebristic background. The fall of light is actually falling in the middle V. I don't mind it there, but I would still pull it up. I don't want my eye to get trapped in that central petal. I actually want it to go all the way to the top. When you get to the top, what stopped me from giving you a 13 is just a little bit of two things actually. One, cloning out all the areas of imperfections where the bud might have bent. If you look in the front, halfway on the second petal, you'll see there's a dark brown line there on the left petal, up on the top, and then in the central fold. And then I would use a brush with a vibrance brush, and a vibrance and saturation actually, and I would paint more pink into the darker areas, and then take as a very last step, where do you want my eye to rest? So darken the bottom greens, pull my eye up by light, and the center of your frame is where your final light should be hitting, because that's the beauty of the rose. That's everything else is the supporting element, and the top is our hero. So more dodge and burn, and you'll get even stronger, higher results. Thank you.
That was a 12 gold for Cecil. Next one is called Chasing the Blue, Master Silver. You scored 12.
This image has got a lot of impact upon presentation. It's an explosion of color. Please remind me of the title, Arnold.
Let me just confirm. It's called Chasing the Blue.
Okay, Chasing the Blue. Okay, so finding the right title isn't going to matter in your honors panel, and it's not going to matter in the salon, but it's definitely going to matter in club. And that Chasing the Blue works quite nicely. The lighting is very good. The drama is all there. The bird, listen to me. The dog's paws are all off the ground, and there's a lot of action and shimmy all over. Why a 12 and not a 13 or a 14? For me, it's an ethical stand. I don't have a problem with holy powder or any of these colored powders behind the dog, so that when they jump forward, the powder all goes behind the dog. But this powder is filling the face completely and getting in the dog's eyes, and that to me is not a great thing for our pets. So as long as the animal and of course dogs can put their faces in it and you can't control that, but for me, as long as the powder stayed behind the dog and I would have had that black face, I would have scored it even higher, but not with all the powder so close to its eyes. But in terms of a photograph as presented, it's good. It's got the drama, and another judge will score you even higher. No problem. Thank you.
12 gold for Belinda Uckerman. The next one is called Shiny Reptile. Master Silver, you scored 11.
Nice base on your image. There's no hot spots on the base at all. It works very well. Good tenebristic background, sharp eye, nice coloration in the tongue. A deeper depth of field, and maybe you didn't know that I think this is some kind of a lizard, was going to turn, would have given you more depth into all those scales down along the bodywork. And just watch the lighting so that we can get even more textures and details on the back, but as presented, a strong gold. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Arnold Wester. That was the last of the pictorial. I believe Belinda had on the schedule that is the time that we break. If I'm correct, do we need to break and then we move on to the next one?
That's correct, yes.
Are you okay with a break? Are we okay with time at 8:30, Belinda? Or do you want me to hurry up?
Well, I'll go afterwards. I think you can hurry up a little bit, but let's just let everybody go to the loo and get a cup of coffee, and then we'll be back. Call it 15 minutes max. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you then.
Thank you.
Okay, is everybody back? Can we continue?
I'm ready.
I'm ready when you are.
Right, let's go.
Belinda, have we chosen category winners for the other categories?
No, we're not doing categories, we're doing stars. Winners and
Oh,
stars
okay.
and then overall and so on, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to call out the first one. That was, of course, the editing challenge. You've seen the original that was presented by Anita, and I'll show you the 9 that did compete in this challenge. Starting with the first one, it is Claiming the Throne. It's a 2-star. You scored it 10.
Okay. So what, if I can give a bit of context to my judging, I think this editing challenge is fantastic. I haven't seen it being implemented at any of the clubs I've judged at. So I think it's quite exciting, and I like that you are innovators of it. I've seen the value in it. Really great idea. What I noticed is some people opted to use the entire raw file as submitted, so have given us the same scene, and other people have opted to focus on just the fish eagle or just the other little birds on the other side on the bottom, and both have their merits, and you're going to see it come out in the edits. Okay, so this author focused on the fish eagle, and what's nice about seeing this scene is it's now closer to the author, to the viewer, so we can see it's caught another bird. We can see the feather detail, which you don't see when it's further back. All right, in this particular instance, the exposure is a little bit bright on the whites of the bird, and the focus could be a little bit sharper, but as presented, it's closer up, it fills the frame in your orientation, and you've got nice detail on the rocks and surface below. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Teresa. Next one is just called Birds. It's a 4-star. You scored 10.
Okay. In this particular instance, we now have the full expansive view. You've got, my eye is separated. So what I'm doing is I'm looking to the left because that's the busier side. The visual weighting is definitely more to this side, but the birds are not particularly sharp. And then you've got a big disconnect in between, and then you've got the fish eagle on the right hand side, and it's very close to the edge of the frame. So the expansive view is very nice if you want to show the entire scene, but you've got to weigh up the strength of the particular image. If you look at the top of the sky, what you don't know just looking at this are those elements that are on the border frame that are very bright are actually the trees just behind. You don't resolve that when you crop it into a tight slither, and you've got a separation. You've got the one, then the rocks, and then you've got the 4 together. None of those are sharp, a bit of a break, and then on the left hand side. And in this particular image, you could also have it could have benefited by straightening the horizon. It's slanting down to the right hand side. Thank you.
It's a 10 gold for Louis Mouton. Next one is called Challenge. The eagle has landed. 5-star honors. You scored 9.
Okay. Another close-up option. In this particular image, the bird is very dominant. I love the fact that the author has flipped it horizontally. So that was a creative choice, and I think it works very nicely. You've got more info down below, and you've got beautiful dominant wing extension that works very nicely. However, because of the tight crop, you now have a lot of noise introduced, and the bird isn't sharp, and there's a lot of area of blowout on the white plumage. Thank you.
That's a 9 silver. Next one is called Divided by Dawn. 5-star. You scored 13.
Okay. This one, you have, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to make an assumption, but you have added in the addition of that pink background. There are softer, more pastel colors. The horizon has been straightened up to a more favorable degree. The birds on the left-hand side have been sharpened. There's more space on the left-hand side. And although you can't make out the detail, overall, The birds are closer. The scene is not so disconnected in terms of giving us a very narrow, almost like film strip view. So this one I liked. I gave this a 13. What I'm not entirely sure of is the lie of the water running down higher on the left-hand side, down to the right. But the atmosphere, the little bit of mist, the creative decisions in this image are very pleasing. Thank you.
That was a 13 COM for Anita. Next one is called Fish Eagle with its spray, 5-star. You scored 13.
Now here's the other 13. Here we can see the fish eagle has been favorably sharpened. We can make out what is actually happening because the author has brought it in. The horizon has been straightened. The colors are very pleasing. The edit is very good. Nice reflections in the water, not losing the element of mist. So a lot of mystery in the images works nicely too. Thank you.
That's a 13 COM for David Roberts. Following Island View Activity, 5-star, you scored 11.
I think I'm going to be repeating myself quite a bit. You can, because I've got the same kind of comments. This one's a little bit dark. Birds on the left are not sharp. Disconnect, very tight fish eagle on the right. And I think when you present it with your challenges and you've got multiple subject matter, it's like walking out in the field or going out into the bush. You've got to decide, am I going to focus on everything and give a very generalized view, or am I going to find the fish eagle more attractive or the gulls more attractive? And then you're going to focus on that. You're going to do selective sharpening. You're going to add textures. You're going to bring out the details. So in this particular one, I would say the top lighting elements, that it's thin and it's cropped this way, haven't worked well in your favor, and I find the image is slanting down to right with the fish eagle a little bit tight on the right hand side. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Elsa. Next one, what are you doing over there? 5-star, you scored 10.
Yeah, something totally different, almost fantastical. The browns and the blues pop quite nicely. Here although we've got a film strip orientation, you can still see a bit of foliage and the elements of perhaps the island on the backhand side, so that you can make that out quite nicely. It is a little bit wider. It's been straightened up. Again, for me, where do you decide to show? Because now they haven't come together as strong as I would like to see it. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Anthony. Next one, Bird Island, Master Silver, you scored 10.
Yeah, a good idea because of the bird's natural coloration being black and white. To do a black and white edit, you've done a sky replacement. There's nice drama in the clouds. There is texture at the bottom. However, the birds aren't sharp. Thank you.
Yeah. You scored 10. It's a 10 gold for Arnold. The last one is called The Gathering, Master Silver. You scored 11.
Little bit stronger, straighter. There's nothing happening in the background, so perhaps the sky replacement would have added a lot more interest to the area above the birds, but there are some nice textures. I like the better breathing space on the right-hand side, and the fish eagle is more prominent. Thank you.
Okay, that's an 11 gold for Belinda. You have two 13s. One was the author herself, Anita, and then the other one with praise. So do I assume that the one for Dave Roberts will then obviously be the actual winner who's going to be presenting the next challenge?
I think by virtue of your rules, Anita can't win on her own image edit, right?
Yes, that's correct then.
Well done. Yeah, really nice efforts from everybody. Thank you.
So it goes to Dave Roberts. Well done. You are the challenge winner this time. Just want to check what we do next.
I think it's macro.
SERPs, yeah. No, SERPs is next.
SERPs macro. All right, so it's the SERPs macro images. We start with the first one, lens ring 2-star. You scored 11.
And guys, just as a side note, there's absolutely no reason why Kempton Park cannot win the macro category. You've got the best macro worker in the country. That's Arnold's speciality. And Anita and Belinda are rocking it too. So if you don't take that macro trophy, I will be very surprised. And you doing this as part of your challenge efforts. So, yeah, you've got some great macro workers. This is an adventurous image. I would not have known what I was looking at unless there was a title. So would this do well in the salon? Highly unlikely. But now that I know the title, I think you've done really well with it. It is definitely more of a graphic image. I like the fact that you've managed to bring out so much detail in, and I think it's well composed as well. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Corneille. Next one called Krap Spinnekop, 3-star. You scored 12.
Yeah, good focus, good coloration, interesting position. Just having that leg up against the back, the black background works very nicely. And even the additional, although it's very, very fine, and it's the simple little things, the web coming out at the back ever so faintly just adds to an additional element of interest in your image. I think your eyes could be a little bit sharper, just selectively or select them and then pull your sharpening. Not to say they're not sharp, but just make the blacks even more black because they are tiny little pinpricks, and do a bit more dodging and burning and you'll have a really strong image. Well done.
That's a 12 gold for Cobus Barnard. Aquamarine Dancer, 4-star. You scored 10.
I see the same marks to a lesser extent, but I see, I don't know if this could have been a workshop over the weekend or if your paper background could have been dirty, but I don't think so because I see it also in the reflections on the water. So another very nice, interesting shape and the funnel. It's sharp, it's got a good solid base below. You just need to go back and take out all the specks on the background because my eye does go there. I don't know if you can see it very well. There's more on the left-hand side, but once your eye finds a few of them, it finds them everywhere else in the image as well. All right, thank you.
It's a 10 gold for Andre Krier. Next one called Spinnekop, 5-star honors. You scored 11.
Very shallow depth of field on this. So you've opted, because of the similar coloration of the spider and the florets, you've taken or the author has taken a creative decision to render everything below the spider in fall off of depth of field. And I actually think that works quite well, but I'm not the expert on this. Arnold would be better placed to give you good guidance on that. I like the rich colors. The detail on the spider is very nice. Again, those little eyes are very, very tiny. You can try and accentuate them a little bit more or choose areas where you can dodge and burn so that you've got more form created and you don't have that even spread of color. If this is in nature macro, I think you are allowed to manipulate in macro. Am I right, Arnold? But not in nature macro.
Yeah, if it's dedicated macro, you can manipulate. If it's nature macro, you can't.
You can't. Okay, let's call this open macro. There are a few little things. If you look on the bottom left-hand side, you've got a line that's coming through about 10% up into your image. And just around the edges on the right-hand side, there's a very dominant spot there. And some of the pollen is catching your eyes. You want everything to be focused on the center. Let your flower be the supporting element for your main hero. But as presented, well done.
Well, it's 11 gold for Martinez. Next one called the Water Dancer, 5-star. You scored 12.
I think this is a very nice image, nice and strong, good composition. I think on most of these water drops, they work very well with a central composition, and you've given us that. There's a nice spiral on the top. All the drops are sharp. There isn't anything messy. We can see it's in a glass, and you've got the required, I want to say, water drop coming down, so that's well timed. Your transition of the blue and greens on the back is very nice, and you've got it reflected. What I think could help you elevate your image is, do you need that reflection at the bottom? Because you've come away from showing me the magic happening on the top, and then you've got the calmness, for lack of a better word, happening in the glass. So you've got a nice base, and then you're giving me busy beneath the base again. So I would crop that out. I don't think you need that reflection underneath there, because it's now drawing my eye out, and I'm looking at the glass above and it's smooth, and I'm wondering why there's more busyness happening there when you actually want to keep it at the top of your image. That's just my opinion, but it's a good solid image. Well done.
It's a 12 gold for Anita Bester. Next one called Zip It, 5-star. You scored 11.
I like this image. I think it's unusual subject matter, but you've nailed the focus where it really matters. There are a lot of bright areas, particularly bottom right, and a big area of blur on the left. And I think perhaps your depth of field doesn't have to be quite as shallow, because I really like the image. And a different judge might score it higher. I think it's pleasing, and you've got the most out of it. Well done.
That's an 11 gold for Marine. Next one, Band-Eyed Dronefly, Master Silver. You scored 13.
Excellent. Absolutely stunning. Really good. The underneath of the leaf, so a different presentation. I'm glad the author didn't decide to flip it. I think it adds that element of authenticity. Details everywhere, wherever you look, fabulous details. The one thing that you do notice is, because it's the underneath of the leaf, the transparent wings have taken on the color of the leaf. And if you look at on the long primary wings, not leaf, I beg your pardon, on the wings, it's taken on the green coloration just by the angle that they're positioned. And if you look at the smaller little one, it hasn't. So for me, that's where the magic is. What I would consider doing, if you look under the flower, there's a little bit of noise. I didn't score you down, but I would quite gladly have given you full house 15 had you managed the noise levels better. Now, if I'm looking at it from a very short distance on my screen, if you are looking at this projected in a salon, nobody's going to notice it. And I think you've got a winner here. Selectively select that eye and make the dark areas of the eye even darker for even better eye engagement. But it's a fabulous image. Well done.
So 13 COM for Belinda. Well done. The last one, Bush Cricket, Master Silver. You scored 13.
Also excellent. Tiny subject matter, good perch, sharp where it needs to be, all the fine details, light so beautifully handled, fills the frame. Really beautiful presentation. Perhaps the background could be a little bit darker, just by virtue of the light falling across and onto the background. But it didn't make a difference. Just by means of a slight improvement, I would have the background a little bit darker than the perch itself. But excellent image. Thank you.
That's a 13 COM for myself, Arnold. That was the last of the macros. We now move on to, let me just check what is next.
Nature.
Nature.
Next.
Nature. And our first image, Protecting the Hive, 2-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, nice image, good color pop with the reds. The little bees are all worker bees. You've managed to show them doing something. Again, deciding where you are what you're going to include in the frame matters. I think everything to the left of halfway is not adding any value. The more interesting section is on the right-hand side to me. So if this were my image, I would crop it at that point. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Louis Schnettler. Next one, sipping water, 2-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, a nice image, nicely composed. I think you've got some good detail here. The animal is doing something. Don't necessarily need eye contact. I think what you can do is you can just look at your white balance on this image. It's got a yellow color cast, and if you neutralize that, you will have an even better, stronger image. Pull your blacks a little bit more, and you'll get better edge definition around the subject matter too. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Tinus de Kock. Next one, Curious Duck, 2-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, very sweet, inquisitive little duck. It is presenting, the blacks are a little bit lighter here over teams. They were quite dark on my side, darker than what I'm seeing here, but nice angle, almost close to central, but I think still fairly well composed. You can still pull down the whites and get even more detail underneath the neck, and selective dodging and burning just to add shape and form on all the feathers across the back. But as a 2-star, well presented. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Louis Schnettler. Next one, Topsy Turvy, Topsy Turvy, 2-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, also an interesting gesture, nice color pop, very central in the frame. But what you have done right is get down at their level, so your vantage point is very good. The saturation can be improved somewhat. You can also, again, everything, even in nature, dodging and burning is your friend. So work in those feathers to get more form flowing through your image, and then when you selectively darken areas, you will concentrate your lighting on where you want the viewer to look. And I want to look actually into the eye and the beak. So the brighter area on your bird, ignoring the tail, is actually on the top of his neck area. So darken that down a little bit, and maybe do a radial, use a radial filter in post-processing and lighten up just naturally, more light into the eye, and that's where the viewer will look straight away. Well presented. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Louis Schnettler. Next one called Hanging, 3-star. You scored 10.
Yeah, very cute. Cute factor, without a doubt. Nice textures on the bark, and also some nice fine textures on the fur. There is a catch light in the eye. The animal is doing something a little bit humorous. Just watch your color saturation. The blues, I don't mind in the shadow areas. That's fine. They are coming across a little bit on the fur texture itself, and then also the very orange vibrancy and the yellows of the rodent could be better managed. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Kobus Barnard. Next up, 3-star, titled Take Off. You scored 12.
Really nice image, lovely, lovely low vantage right on the water level, and the author is to be commended for that. Very, very good shutter speed, nice detail in the wing extension, nice vantage point, catch light in the eye, good shutter speed. The whites are a little bit hot at the back of the bird, and if you just pull down the highlight slider a little bit, you'll actually find that there's even more detail in your raw file. I don't want to sound like I'm stuck on it, but dodging and burning, definitely your friend. I do like your expansive view, and then just watch the top of the wings. There's a little bit of haloing over there, which you would need to correct in post-processing. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Kobus Barnard. Next one called Lily, 4-star. You scored 11.
The first thing that comes up when you see this is this beautiful, strong lily. The whites are gentle and soft, and the lovely greens of the lily pads all around it are very complementary. It has got a green cast, but I actually like that. I see this image as part of a beauty magazine with copy on the left-hand side, or a Zen Buddhist retreat. It's very peaceful and tranquil image, and very appealing to look at. Just watch on the right-hand side. It is very, very bright, and my eye keeps on getting pulled. I don't mind the bright area on the left of the lily pad. That's almost got a bit of magic and mystery, but definitely on the right, if you can manage your highlights there. And then again, dodge and burn the individual petals so that you just create more form on one side, because you've got very strong directional light coming in from the right, and you can manage that well. Thank you.
It's 11 gold for Andre de Kock. Malachite Feast, 4-star, you scored 12.
Yeah, super image. Good shutter speed, decisive moment. You've captured that. There's light, good coloration on the little bird. That's all fantastic. The fish we know will never ever be sharp because it's just come out of the water and it's wet, and that tends to soften. But I think you've got it as sharp as damn it. What would have brought me to score it even higher? You've got that white poop drop, which once we've seen the beauty of all the colors, bam, my eye goes to that very white area. And then the area of blur is actually competing with your area of sharpness. If you look down on the left, everything there is sharp. The bird is sharp, the perch is sharp, and then from the branch that's been cut off, everything from that point is blurred. So one way that you can control, well, you can't control it unless you had a deeper depth of field, but then you also, when you do your exposure triangle, you need high shutter speed, very high shutter speed for the birds. You also want true coloration. So you've got to, for most intent parts, you've got the shot. I would manage this a little bit, perhaps, in terms of post-processing, pull up a linear gradient, add an angle, and just darken this whole branch. Not too much that you're hiding any elements, but that it's not such a big area of blue competing against the bird. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Frank Huckerman. African Swamp Hen, 4-star, you scored 11.
Yeah, a very... I think this is a good shot, because where you find these swamp hens is amongst all the reeds. So that you're not going to, in all likelihood, ever find them against a creamy, dreamy background. That would be totally unnatural. So you've managed to capture that. The colors are authentic. The light is nice. The color pop works good. And you've even managed, listen to my delicious English, the color pop works well. You've even managed to bring in a little bit of magic on the left-hand side. Because it's so white, my eye immediately goes to that feather. You can darken the background in post-processing, particularly because you've got those very bright white areas and the stems in the background. But just do it ever so slightly. I think you got a good shot, a very difficult shot too. Well done.
11 gold for Frank. Coming into land, 4-star, you scored 11.
Fills the frame very nicely. You've got beautiful wing display, good extension, nice separation, good angle of view. The perch down below isn't a problem or too bright. Unfortunately, though, it's not sharp on the head, and you're getting a lot of noise under wing. Thank you.
It's 11 gold for Frank. Mountain and the Stream, 5-star honors, you scored 12.
Yeah, very pretty image to look at. Lovely leading line with the water. It's been well handled. You've got the lush greens that are vibrant and true. And I spoke about the fins being a visual block. Here we've got a little secret gap through, and that leads us from the foreground into an interesting background. Then almost looks like another weather climate all together into the icy peaks. I think a very challenging image, but the author's done well to present it in this manner. Thank you.
That's a 12 gold for Rikus Barnard. Rooikill Bayvreter, 5-star honours, scored 11.
Nice to have the bee eater with a catch, and also the perch coming up from the top. There's something in its mouth that's been well handled. The light is very, very strong across the back. So you've lost a lot of color on the perch and a lot of intensity and detail against the back. And then obviously these bright areas down at the bottom are competing with your subject matter. So if you pull down your exposure a little bit, I think that might take care of some of the bright highlights. I think unfortunately time of day wasn't your friend, and with that brightness you've got a little bit of haze as well. Now when you can't avoid these very bright white pockets, you need to crop as much of it out. So this bottom area, as long as you've got the tail in and maybe an inch or about an inch, 2.5 centimeters below, crop off all the rest and see if you pull down your highlights, if you can actually manage that competing white area in the background. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Martinez. Tear in My Eye, 5-star honours, you scored 13.
I think this is a beautiful image. Very plain subject matter, but very, very strong, soulful. It will do very well, in my opinion, in an animal portrait. The lighting has been well handled across the curve of those horns. The tear in the eye, or the little bit of discharge in its eye, works very nicely. It's offset against the either its own body, that it's turned back slightly, or against another one. But this is not just a portrait against grass or background. There's lovely texture, detail, beautiful dodging and burning in all the right places. And then obviously right on the edge, that little bit of grass. I think this is a very strong, well-presented portrait. By means of improvement ever so slightly, the little bright hot spot on its ear, I would just control that with the brush and just bring highlights down a little bit. But beautiful. This is the kind of image that you could also consider converting to monochrome. I think you've got enough tonality and contrast in here, and I think it will do very well in a salon. Thank you.
That's a 13 COM for Antoinette. Who is coming for us? 5-star honours. You scored 11.
Yeah, quite a sweet image. Nice lighting on the wet hippo. They are doing something. You can see the action through the reeds. Again, just come out of water. So the one on the right looks a lot softer than the one on the left. But as long as, are we okay? Okay, as long as one of them is sharp, we can see and make out the environment. It is a nature picture, and there are a few distractions, the houses in the background and the little bit of area to the right as well, and then a very bright hot spot down below. See if you can manage those a little bit. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Jeanette. Next one called Renoster, 5-star honours. You scored 12.
Very nice image. Also lots of textures here. Good moment. Extra information with the red-billed oxpeckers on the back. That works well. A little bit of light in the eye. I think you could have done more with that to bring out the light even more. But you've got the horn, which is great. You've got nice environmental info. Just be careful that your image isn't a little bit too central. If you have the more space in the front in the raw file, I would take off a little bit on the back and rather have a bit more in the front. But as presented, really well done. I think even more contrast will raise it up higher to a 13 and perhaps even more. Thank you.
12 gold for Antoinette. Transport building material, 5-star honours. You scored 11.
Yeah, a good image to for even your PJ category, because the bird is doing something. Again, good vantage point, fills the frame. There's context in the background. I really have never ever seen these black-headed herons carrying such long reeds, so I think it's fabulous. I took the liberty of flipping only because I got to have the images before. I think your image would read better if you flip this image. That would then make that read your lead in line from the left-hand side. Look, the bird is flying away from you. So that's not an advantage. But I think for the storytelling element, it's good. If you flipped it, you would have the lead in line, and then on the right-hand side, you would have the magic. You would have the story, right, and the bird. Now you are hitting the subject matter right in the first 20%, and you're going, and the story gets weaker and weaker, if that makes sense. Correct your level, even though it might be level as you shot it. If you look at the lie of the land, it is sloping down, and I think just visually on our eyes, it will be better. Please flip it, see if you like it. If you enter this in a salon, I would say it may get an acceptance. Have a look. You can see on the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're probably round circles. They may also be sensor spots. They do catch my eye all the time. I would lighten them. If they're not sensor spots, then I would lighten them just to blend better in with the environment. Thank you.
That's an 11 gold for Martinez. Brainkop visvanger, sickness. 5-star, you scored 11.
Nice dark background, which obviously makes these colors just pop. The teal flash and then those bright red beaks works nicely. There's also something in the mouth, so that's interesting. Little bit of context. It isn't right on the edge of the frame like a previous one we had, so I think that's given it a little bit more wriggle room. But do you need this whole expanse of right? Because your image is contained in the first 25%. So consider a slightly tighter crop, but I would leave in all the foliage at the bottom. I think that's quite attractive. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Elsa. Copper tail cuckoo, 5-star, you scored 12.
Yeah, an image with a lot of impact. I love the foliage down at the bottom. That works very nice against that blue sky. The reds work well. It fills the frame very nicely. Well presented. Thank you.
12 gold for Ron Cox. Ek is 'n bok, 5-star, you scored 11.
Yeah, you know, the thing about nyalas is that you find them in the dense areas. They never walk out in the open. So you have to contend with all the distractions and the forest and the shady areas. And I think the author has managed that quite nicely. There is light in the eyes, and although the horns tend to, especially the one on our left, blend well with the environment, I think you've managed to capture some light and present the animal favorably. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Anthony. On a pedestal, 5-star, you scored 11.
A nice light in the eyes. I think this is good subject matter, just by virtue of the fact that the fur works very well with the different fur textures. Nice background. I think the image is slightly over sharpened, but that's just a matter of taste. As presented, it's strong. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Anita. Waterbok, 5-star, you scored 10.
Yeah, where we would expect to see it in its environment, gives us a bit of context. The fur detail is nice, it's soft. That is the way their fur is. It's not prickly, so the sharpening hasn't been badly handled. The unfortunate situation here is that the light is falling on the body of the antelope and the face is in shadow, and then the rocks on the background are very, very bright. You've also got the break in the face with the reeds, but I didn't mark that down. Unfortunately, the problem with this image is the natural light is just hiding the face, and that just creates a bit of a barrier between us and actual good engagement. To improve it, hopefully you've got some others in the series. Just watch, take a brush and see if you can recover some of the brights on the white of the bum, and maybe just paint that in and see if you can pull back a little bit of detail on that back area. And I would crop in a little bit tighter, because that bit of information, you don't want drawing too much attention. You want more to the right of the animal. Thank you.
It's a 10 gold for Tarina. African Jacana, 5-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, nice diagonal. The wings are good. The coloration is good. Good shutter speed, long toes, which is characteristic of the bird, and nice foliage as well. The darks can be lifted a little bit and a little bit more light in those eyes. Unfortunately, a bird flying away from you is a challenging shot, but I think the fact that you've got a side profile has definitely aided you in this instance. If you look where the light is coming from, it's coming in on the left, and that wing is always going to hide the light across the front of its face. So if you can lighten that a little bit, that will serve your image well, and a little bit of motion in the wings is also very pleasing. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Ron Cox. Grasshopper. It's 5-star master bronze. You scored 12.
Yeah, a good image, lots of details, and that's what we want to see in macros. You've got to be careful with tenebristic backgrounds. Some of the national judges and salon judges think I do it, because I believe when you've got a bright color, I mean, it's a very ordinary grasshopper. It's just brown. It's not particularly pleasing to look at, but it's on a very interesting color, complementary color of the purples. So offsetting it against a black is very pleasing to me, but to a lot of other judges, like in my instance, they've disqualified the shot and they don't like it too much. They feel it's a set-up stage shot. I think you've done very well. You've made it pop off the background, lots of detail where you want it, and it's a strong image. Well done.
It's a 12 gold for Cecil. Guinea fowl portrait, master silver. You scored 11.
Yeah, nice portrait, nice strong stance within the frame. It is portrait, it suits that. Time of day was a little bit bright. You can see that on the tip of the beak, and the color saturation would not be as diluted had it been early morning or late afternoon. But as presented, I think it's sound for a gold. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for myself. Malachite kingfisher with breakfast. Master silver, you scored 13.
Yeah, another one that's got a lot of impact. The decisive moment, good color saturation. The bird has caught the fish. This time the fish is very sharp, and all the concentration is on the beak, the eyes on both. That works very nicely. And then you've got very shallow depth of field very quickly. If you look down the bottom to the toes, and then the entire perch is a very big area of blue. So that for me, I find distracting. What you could potentially consider is cropping off on the right-hand side and then underneath take out some of that, because if you look at the amount of space, that area of blue on that diagonal, everything above is sharp, everything below is in a big area of blue, and it's very bright, and that distracts quite a bit. And just again, watch your noise levels in the background, but a very good shot. Thank you.
That is a 13 COM for Belinda. We go to portraiture. First image is Diana of Avonlea, 4-star, you scored 10.
Okay, for portraiture, I think you've got the cute factor, you've got some element of humor with the little bunny and the young lady. The lady is offset nicely in maybe period clothing, or maybe you saw her at an event. Just watch the hot areas on the top of the bunny ears and the top of the lady's head. Her face is also a little bit red. She might be shy to take the photo, but then you just need to fix the skin tones. Thank you.
So 10 gold for Andre de Kock. Mirror image, 4-star, you scored 12.
Nice, nice shots, strong graphic. I like the fact that they aren't both sharp. Our eyes would be going left, right, left, right, left, right between the two and trying to resolve it. I think the coloration has been handled very nicely, and it's a strong portrait. Thank you.
12 gold for Andre Botha. Monkey portrait, 4-star, you scored 11.
Yeah, nice, nice portraits. It would also do well in animal portrait section. Nice fur detail, nice perch textures, and then the fence and the background detail has been well handled. Do you need all the space on the right? If you look at the image, visually it's offset to the left and very little on the right that's contributing. So consider cropping some of that out. Thank you.
11 gold for Stefan Fourie. Jamie, 5-star honors, you scored 11.
Yeah, lovely smile, beautiful model. You've managed to capture her well. The background is not distracting. I think in terms of improving it, opening up your shadows a little bit in the dark areas in the eyes. She is a more mature model, so do a little bit of work on those eyes so they're not deeply inset, and then just watch the yellow skin tones, just bring them back to more of a natural color. Over teens, the blacks are presenting a lot lighter than they actually presented on the images. Thank you.
It's an 11 gold for Martinez. Admitted, I am beautiful, 5-star, you scored 11.
Now, definitely a bird with good color pop. The reds are true. The eye has got a little bit of a sparkle. You can add a little bit more sharpness into that and also pull your levels a little bit more to get stronger blacks. But as seen, strong. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Linda. Title, Boudica, am I right? Boudica, 5-star, you scored 13.
Very good portrait. Shot in a very dark studio. We can see that the pupils are quite large, but yet the author has still managed to bring in color into the eyes, which is very important. It's got a cinematic feel. I love the coloration of the hair. It makes it pop. Nice lighting across the face with shadows where they need to be, which makes it ominous and impactful. Strong portrait. Thank you.
That's a 13 COM for Fraser Bryce. Chanel, 5-star, you scored 11.
Yeah, it's a happy portrait. Quite difficult to shoot, but I think the author has managed it quite nicely. Lovely hand gesture, nice fall of light. Little bit hot on the forehead, not worrying me too much. Going back towards the back, just something I'm particularly conscientious of. The underneath of shoes. Many models leave labels on and price tags. It wasn't there in this one, but just clean the underneath of the shoes with something like frequency separation, because otherwise there's a bit of a disconnect while such a beautiful model has scuffed shoes on the underneath. Small little refining things that are going to make a difference in your image. Thank you.
So 11 gold for Serena. Eyes of a Viking, 5-star, you scored 11.
Really engaging, close up in your face, very dominant, and well presented. The colors are offset well, the oranges and reds against that aquamarine green. The coloration has been pulled a little bit in our eyes in order to just manage the center of the eyes and the catch lights a little bit better. If you look at the catch lights, they've also gone green, and the black areas in the actual pupil of the eye can be painted back black as well, and that would not let the viewer look in. The other thing with going in super, super close is you've got to be kind to the models, and you've got to do a little bit of extra skin work in terms of the pores. You've just got to do a little bit of cloning in there, but it's a strong, engaging portrait. Well done.
It's 11 gold for David Roberts. Gala Evening, 5-star. You scored 12.
I think this is a lovely classic, very simple portrait, but very elegant. I like the shape of the model. The skin work is very nice. Her form is flattering, and against a darker background works very well. Just consider, the author can consider, she's almost very central. Take a little bit off the left and a bit more on top of the head, and leave the same amount of space on the right-hand side. But the fall of the draping of her skirt works very nicely too. Well done.
The 12 gold for Maria. Defined, 5-star. You scored 13.
This is a really eye-catching, drop-dead gorgeous portrait. I said it before, if you've got a beautiful model, it's very easy to get lovely portraits. And this lady has got eyes that are engaging. You've got a cold stare. The shape is beautifully, beautifully faced, natural makeup, lovely light across her face. I like the whites on the right-hand side. I think that outlines her form very well. The only criticism I have for this image, aside for the fact that I wish it was mine, is that the darks, the blacks, have been pulled up too high. So if you look in the center of her forehead, when you pull blacks and you pull the shadows too far, you get grays coming in. You actually introduce grays. So just go back, revisit this image, and just pull her hair back, or pull the shadows back a little bit darker. But as presented, striking image. Well done.
So 13 COM for Fraser. Fearsome Vikings, 5-star. You scored 11.
Yeah, quizzical look. Beautiful styling in this particular image. The makeup was done very nicely. The hair also going a little bit toward the darks, being too far pulled up on the model on the right. But nice detail in the hairs and good edits on the skins. The background, I think you've got the potential, because there are two of them, to actually use this as a composite and put something dramatic in the background. Because right now, as a viewer, we can't engage with them. They're looking right past us. But as a whole, nicely presented.
11 gold for David Roberts. Hard Years, 5-star. You scored 12.
This is a lovely portrait. Natural edit, lovely filigree, matching styling. No hard work done, fall of light, very complimentary. Just I would say to the author, go back and check your white balance on here. She's presenting as very yellow, and I think you can correct that, and your portrait would go even higher to a com in my book for sure. Thank you.
12 gold for Maria. Lizzie, 5-star, scored 11.
Nice anonymous shot. I like the fact that she's looking over the shoulder. You've got a lot of texture and just a little peek of a hand and the top. It leaves it a little bit quizzical and something unusual. Well done.
11 gold for Serena. Sasha Lee, 5-star, scored 12.
Yeah, again, another nice edit, good skin edit, lovely posing and styling. There are a few things that I would do if this portrait was mine. Obviously, the author retains control of what they do, but just quickly, if you look between the lips, I would have cloned out that area of over applying the lipstick She's got a beautiful Cupid's bow, and I would want to accentuate that. And if you look down on the left-hand side, it's a very tight crop on that the model's right breast as we view it left. That bust, a little bit more white space would be more flattering to me, because my eye, it's so uncomfortably close to the edge. And on the right hand side, just by virtue of this kind of off the shoulder, her arm is sticking out a little bit. Just take the liquify and pull that in a little bit and crop slightly higher so that you don't just get the edge of the elbow. But a nice fashion shot. Thank you.
It's a 12 gold for Fraser. Bearded Man, Master Silver, scored 11.
A nice character study. The styling is all nice with the hat and the clothing to match, complementary on his beard. Again, I would say, look at your white balance. His skin is very, very red. Maybe he was uncomfortable or blushing, but you can fix that up nicely. Here, I see more detail in the black band of the underneath of his hat. On the images that were shared with me, they were not as bright as, or the blacks were not as, they were more crunched. So just go back and have a look at that as well. Thank you.
It's 11 gold for Arnold. Vintage Beauty, Master Silver, you scored 13.
Yeah, lovely subject matter. Lizzie is perfect for the vintage theme, and the complementary colors of that purple background work very nicely against her bright red lips and the eyes. It's very, very pleasing. Small little thing on this is that her finger position on the camera is a little bit awkward, that you've got to watch out for while you're taking the shot. Didn't score you down any differently on it. It's a lovely presentation, and I'm sure the model will be quite happy with it. Just watch your skin tones. Don't get too cool that they start looking a little bit blue down in the finger shadow areas. But on the face, it's very nicely done. Thank you.
It's a 13 COM for Belinda. We now move to altered reality. First image, a journey goes beyond what you see. 5-star honors, you scored 12.
Nice. Nice to see more in this series. Lots going, complex, composite, identifiable. I quite enjoy this author's work. Nice color combinations, interesting to look at. Light in the right place. My eyes drawn from the bottom of the image all the way back up to the bright area, and the textures work well. Thank you.
It's a 12 gold for Michelle. Home is where the heart is. 5-star honors, scored 13.
I really enjoyed this. I think you've managed to take a very ordinary scene and create a work of art, something that I know some of my clients would print and put up on their walls. The central composition works well in this instance. It's still appearing very, very black here, and that's a creative license. I would have liked to see just a little bit more detail in those pens. Thank you.
11 gold for Michelle. Oh, sorry. That was a 13 COM for Michelle. My mistake. Next one is called Everyone Has No Voice Sometimes. 5-star honors.
Yeah, again, another one in the series. It's nice. Central composition works quite nicely. I like the base that gives it something to stand on. Lighting is very nice. The author understands light and shadows. That works quite well. The birds on the top, I don't know if I'm seeing the same configuration of birds. I don't see these images often enough, but hopefully there is a bit of variety in your brush stamp, and you're creating a bit of variety, so it won't be the same birds that are coming through all the time, but nice storytelling with good depth. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Michelle. Pink Pony Club, 5-star, you scored 11.
Nice soft light. I love the textures that are, and the twirls, not the textures, the twirls that are coming out, and also that the light is on the top and nowhere else. This image would have scored even higher if there was even more dodging and burning creating a bit more form on the shadow areas and a stronger interplay of light. And then the background, if that was a bit more intense, it would not blend so much into the beauty of this flower. The presentation's very strong. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for marine. The flow of identity, 5-star, you scored 10.
Oh, something rather unusual. I see, again, a graphic image. There's a lot of textures through half of it, and then you've got a bit of pull of lines down on the bottom right. The blacks are black, the whites and blacks play well together. That works nicely, and also with a slight hint of textures and a bit of light in the eye. I think this bottom bit with where it almost becomes line art, I would have liked to have seen that balanced somewhere else, so that more of the effect was introduced and not just on a tiny little corner. Thank you.
That's a 10 gold for Anita. I think we move to scapes now. First one, Perd in the Veld, 3-star, you scored 12.
Lovely image. Remember this well. Good depth throughout. Foreground, midground, nice strong element, and then the background, the coloration of the skies, perhaps a little bit blue. I might be tempted to tone that down a little bit, and just by virtue of some improvements, crop out at least half of this great area of blue. But as seen, very nice, as presented, well done.
It's a 12 gold for Kobus Barnard. Silver cap, 4-star, scored 11.
Yeah, view from the top looking down, it's dominant, but it also, it's in a very thin panel. So yes, you've allowed for some of the elements and the size, and it is the hero of the image. But I find those lines that are breaking through the telephone or the wire lines, that breaks the image a bit. On the bottom left, there's a man kind of walking into it. On the right-hand side, there's a little slither of a car, and it just feels like the attention to details not quite there just yet. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Andre Creer. Liquid Cascade, 4-star, scored 11.
Something rather unusual. Gives nice nice feel. The water, long exposure use, that works quite nicely. And then the mural in the background adds a little bit of info, as does this concrete sculpture. Nice position, perhaps in a cityscape. If the author can darken down the background, it won't compete so much with the foreground. Thank you.
Just lost signal for a short while. That was a 11 gold for Andre Creer. Next one, farming at the foot of Drakensberge, 5-star honors, scored 11.
Yeah. Good use of foreground, midground, background, lots of impact in the cloud details in the back. There's a lot to look at within the image. The entire scene needs to be viewed as one. There isn't one singular focal point throughout, and I think that perhaps doesn't strengthen your image as much as if there was a tree or perhaps a little house or one animal or just something where the eye could rest once you've explored all the various layers. But the depth of field is good. And then on the top, your clouds are very, very bright. Just see if you can tone them down a little bit. Thank you.
That's 11 gold for Jeanette. Pretoria evening traffic, 5-star, scored 10.
Yeah, in this instance, the over teams, it's presenting a lot, the blacks are presenting a lot brighter than what I see in the images that I was sent on my computer. but you've got the lines, cars coming, cars going, long exposure, works quite nicely. And then you've got, in what I was judging it against, is a very dark band, and then you've got little bits of information in the background. I think that forms the distraction because I'm looking down at the bottom, and then my eyes drawn automatically up to the top area. So I would crop out the top area and go back into your edit again. The author can consider lifting these darker areas in between, so that what you're seeing here is what will actually be in the image. It's quite dark on the files that I viewed. Thank you.
That was a 10 gold for Elsa. Looks like that was the lot. We need to figure out now how we're going to filter and view at the same time, so you can pick the best of the star grades. I'll try and filter on my side and then see if I can present it to you at the same time. So we're just going to select everything. I just need to check the SIBS macro, and the editing challenge does. Oh yeah, it's just the editing challenge that doesn't form part of that. And the theme, so all I have to do now is just pick 1 star.
Arnold?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry,
praat maar, dankie.
Okay, ek het vandag al die high scores getrek vir elke star level. So
Yes.
ons kan, jy kan hulle net lees. Ek sal hulle wys elke star level, dan kan jy net die scores lees by die foto's.
Okay, so ek moet hulle net ook vind. Okay, so so jy kan hulle net vir my lees, dan kry ek hulle net gou onder die selections. Okay. So ja, ek gaan hier net sit 1 star, dan lees jy hulle net gou vir my.
Okay, ons het nie 1 star, so ons gaan begin by 2 stars.
Sorry, 2 star. 2 star, dan lees jy hulle vir my, dan sal ek hulle gou net hier opsit. Jy kan hulle wys en ek sit dit net op.
Okay, die eerste ene is Dawa Flame. Of Arnold, ek kan vandag die scores lees. Ek kan hulle sien.
Ja, ek sien hulle. Ek moet hom net hier enter in die score sheet. That's all I need to do.
Okay, perfect. So
jy kan hulle lees alles. Ek sal net die ding add hierso.
Yes, okay, perfect. Laat ons ek dit lees. So die eerste een is Dawa Flames. Hy het 'n 12 gekry. It received a 12. Okay. Next we have Passing Time, also a 12. And then the next one is Ran Down, also a 12.
Okay, Passing Flame.
Oh, Passing Time.
Passing Time. Doha Flame, Passing Time. This one, please.
Okay. So we're going to go with Passing Time.
Thank you.
Perfect. Congratulations, Teresa, I believe.
Best of 2 star.
Yes.
Well done.
And
right,
the 3 star, this is the only image.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, perfect.
That was called, what's the name there?
The Finale.
Finale, okay. So that was then the best of 3 star. Let me add it, done. Right.
Okay, perfect. Let me go to 12 to 4 star quickly. This one is Malicite Feast. It was okay. My apologies. Let me just see. Arnold, do you have this one score? Wait.
This one has a 12.
Okay.
You have Malachite. Which one are you there? Malachite, yes. I got that one as a 12. Malachite Feast.
The next is Mirror Image. Okay. And then the last one is The Power of Negative Space.
I don't have Power of Negative Space. Oh, that was a theme. Okay, so we exclude that for now.
Okay, my apologies. We exclude this one for now, so it's between these 2 images.
Malachite Feast and
The power of the mirror image.
mirror image.
Mirror.
Okay.
Okay, it will be the Malachite Feast, please.
Perfect,
Okay, so
thank you.
Malachite Feast, Frank Uckerman, best of 4-star. Good.
Okay, we move on to 5-star.
5-star.
Just quickly want to close all these down. Yeah, in 5-star we have 2 images. The one is Boadicea. I'm saying that incorrectly. Sorry for whoever's image this is. And the next one is Defined.
Sure.
You
It's
scroll
difficult.
back. Yeah. I think more work has gone into the edit here. The skin edit is very good. The lightening, the hair color has been changed. The other one, she is naturally beautiful. I think it will go to this one, please. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Best of 5-star.
Okay, then we will continue on to 5-star honors. We have 4 images. Apologies. A journey goes beyond what you see. Mountain on. Sorry.
Was that one not a 12 and the one thereafter was a 13? By the same author. The boy.
Let me quickly check the score.
This is a 12. The one after
I have
is a
3
13.
13s. I have 3 13s in 5-star honors here.
Okay.
Can you quickly give me the names, Arnold?
It's Home is Where the Heart Is,
Yeah.
Tear in My Eye, and Droplet.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I can quickly pull up the other one. Just hold on for me.
Okay, so it's not this one. It's the other one.
I'm going to pull it up now.
That's the one after that.
Yeah.
The one with the green.
My apologies, Michelle.
It's this one, the butterfly and the lily. I'm sorry, the boy, the man with his bicycle, the buffalo and the lily. Yeah, sure. It could go anywhere, really.
So we have this one, Home is Where the Heart Is. Then a mountain and the stream. And Renoster.
Oh, wait. Okay.
No, I've got Home is Where the Heart Is, Tear in My Eye, Droplet. Those were the 13s.
Yes.
Oh, no, right. My apologies. I pulled a lot of images. Apparently, that did not win. Arnold, do you mind quickly showing these images?
Yeah, I know which one. I know which ones they are, and it's actually the buffalo. The buffalo will be the win for me. Yes.
That will be Tear in My Eye. So if you go 5-star honors, Tear in My Eye, that's the buffalo.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Let me just pull it up.
But it could have gone to any of the 3. They're all fantastic. This one, I think, is exceptional.
Okay, so that's the best 5-star honors.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Then we're going to move on
Sorry, Deirdre, who's the author of the buffalo?
Let me quickly check.
Antoinette Bessedno.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then we're going to move on to the master section. So the masters comprise out of master bronze and master silvers.
I have 4 13s. I don't know if you have the same.
Yes, I have 4. Okay. This one is Band-Eye Dronefly. The next one is Bush Cricket. Then the Malachite Kingfisher with Breakfast. And lastly, Vintage Beauty.
The fly, please.
The fly, perfect.
Okay, best of 5-star masters. Great.
Okay. Arnold, will you be able to do the best of juniors and best of seniors?
Let me quickly filter for that.
Best of Juniors is the band for me, the finale.
Yes.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so let me
Yeah.
go. That was a 3-star. It was a 3-star, so it was. We quickly check where it was.
And it's also going to be image of the evening. I think you have an image of the evening, am I right?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, all you need to do is pick the best from
Senior.
masters, best of honors, and best of 5-star, 4-star. So let me quickly select those.
Yeah, that one I can't remember. Sorry.
We also need the theme.
Oh, negative space.
Yes, I can quickly show those two images. Only two of them. It's this one.
Okay. Yeah.
And this one.
Or that one. No, I'm still going to go with the other one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, so for the seniors, which one was that?
For the theme, it was draped chiffon.
Oh yes, for the theme it was, yes. Okay, so it was draped chiffon. It was this, yeah, that we had. I think that's what we had before.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, correct. All right.
Sorry, guys, 134 images is quite a bumper night for you. I don't know many clubs that are still putting out that many images in a club night. So well done to F-Stop. It's really a good member effort.
All right. I just need to confirm the best of senior was which one?
We're going
I'm
to
not
select
sure.
that one now.
Oh, you haven't selected it yet. Okay.
No, no, sorry. If you could just show me the comms.
Arnold, can you possibly show them?
I've got 15. Let me just filter out the best of. So we need best of.
It would be between Tirima Eye, Bodisha, and Bandai Drone. It would be if there are two different ones for seniors and masters.
Yeah, it will be the Banded Eye Drone Fly. Okay, then it'll be Malachite Feast, Tirima Eye, and Bodisha. Okay.
So that will be my macro winner.
Yeah.
This will be my macro winner. I'll choose a portrait winner. Am I allowed to do that? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, well,
okay.
You pick your best of that because you already have your best of evening, which was the band. So
yes,
out of these, you need to pick the best senior. That will include the theme, by the way, which was the draped chiffon. Because it was
I must include that one in.
Yes, it was a senior.
Okay.
So it's Banded Eye Drone Fly.
It's this one.
Yes.
That one. Okay.
Yes.
This one we can eliminate. This one we can eliminate because it's got a flaw in between the fingers.
All
so
right.
take that one out. It will be between the fly.
The portrait, the fly, the buffalo, or the malachite.
I'm going to pull them up now.
Okay, please do. Yeah.
Yes. The portrait, the buffalo, the malachite, and the fly.
Okay, I'm going to bring the last one up now. Okay. So this is the best of 4-star. This is the best of 5-star honors.
Yes.
Okay. This is the best of 5 stars.
Yes.
And then the best of our master section. So you need to choose between these.
Yeah, it's going to be this one. Thank you.
Banded Drone Fly, so that will be best of senior.
Thank you very much,
we
guys.
got that. And then you got the best of evening was the band, so we got it sorted. Perfect.
That's it. Perfect. So thank you so much for everybody who joined and I understand it was an unusual evening for us, but we do appreciate everybody's patience and being so calm during the situation. A big thank you to Natasha as well for her insight and the judging of the scores. We really appreciate it. And you are one of the judges we normally see the most, we look forward most to having you at the club. So we hope to have you back very soon.
Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for the wonderful images. Really an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Well, we always learn a lot from you when you do judge for us, and being a judge myself, you know what? I've learned quite a lot as well tonight, so thank you.
Oh, thank you, Arnold.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Natasha.
Natasha.
Much appreciated.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Brilliant.
Stay safe. Bye.
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 Thanks, everyone. Lovely evening.
Congratulations, Alan.
Deidre, sal ek vir jou die score sheet stuur soos dat ek hom het hierso. Moet ek hom net save en vir jou stuur? Want hy het nou al die beste of goed wat ek gemerk het.
Yes, asseblief ja. So net vir die file
Ja, ek sal vir die upload file stuur.
Perfek. Baie dankie, Arnold.
Okay.
Goed, lekker bly.
Baie dankie almal. 'n Lekker aand.
Lekker aand. Bye bye.